All right. Going live here tonight. Big Blue Crew. Welcome to another live show of Bigpatssportstalk. Going to be going over some major news tonight. Jason Garrett fired. What's going on, Logan?
I'm happy.
We say you're happy, huh? I mean, man,
Jason Garrett is finally gone.
Yeah, so what just tell me your exact thoughts of what the Jason Garrett firing means to you. What do we do next after that, man? I want to get into that tonight. Hopefully other people can join in. There goes Joe.
I'm gonna be completely honest. What's going on, Joel? I'm gonna be completely honest. I'm happy about the Garrett firing. I think it's a great. We've all been screaming it for months. I honestly don't know what to think to do next because obviously Kitchen is gonna take over. Well, I honestly have nothing to say. I don't know what's gonna happen here, but I'm very scared for the future.
All right, we got my main man Joel on, so you know what I got to do. He's gonna give us his classified analysis of what happened today. Let's get into it.
I'll tell you what, today took a hell of a lot out of me today. The Twitter, everybody going live when Garrett got fired. My hot take right now is, man, we're Giants fans. We shouldn't be arguing with each other. Points are great. Arguments are wonderful, but I mean, it's some of this is just like getting out of hand. I mean, we got a great community here. Giants fans are we get them in here all the time. But, man, we need to step back and take a breath because last night's win has a lot. Tampa Bay doing what they did to us last night, that took the wind out of a lot of people's sails. I mean, that defeated a lot of us. And, we saw this coming after last night, after Joe Judge. Pat, man, I mean, I'm here for you, but I have no energy, my guy. I feel completely drained after everything that went on today.
I mean, it's not a total shock. I knew what was going to come. Only way that Garrett wasn't going to be fired is if he was totally protected by John Mara, and I think John Mara wouldn't be able to survive if that happened today, if he protected Garrett from being fired by Joe Judge. With that being said, Giants fans, this is not the only move that had to be made. Freddie Kitchens is not going to come and make us a 30-point offense.
Hell no.
Freddie Kitchens is not going to come and change this whole offense in 1 week. But what I do like about the firing of Jason Garrett, I think Freddie Kitchens is a more down-the-field type coordinator when he calls plays. So I think we're going to be a little bit more aggressive. I think we might get to see what Daniel Jones is really made of. Because I'll say this, these last, 7 games, these last 7 games is the evaluation of Joe Judge and Daniel Jones. I believe Gettleman is going to retire after this year. Either that or he's going to be forced to retire. And these last 7 games are going to determine if Joe Judge is back. And if Joe Judge or Dave Gettleman isn't back, I don't believe Daniel Jones is back because whatever new GM comes in, I believe he wants to bring in his own coach, his own quarterback, and his own system, which will be great. I don't know who has noise in the background.
Is that me?
Oh no, that's Logan. Man, you always got noise in the background,
right? Oh my God.
But I think you're gonna get a fair evaluation of everyone these coming 7 weeks, man, because it needs to be done. There's no reason why we're in almost the 4th year with Daniel Jones and we don't know who this guy is. There's no reason for that. Ash Money, what's going on?
It was good, Ash Money.
But Miz was supposed to be on. I was supposed to talk with him for about 20 minutes. I texted him. Hopefully he comes on. But it's hard to do that in the middle of the season, but it had to be done.
Thank you, Ash.
What are some of the things that you were hearing on Twitter that got you a little bothered, Joe? What are some
Dude, it's the everything. It's the, you know that I like to bring a different view and I like to be open-minded. And I get it, okay? I get the frustration going at Daniel Jones. But how come, we're not talking about how pathetic that defense was last night. We're not talking about, special teams play. We're not talking about piss poor blocking, piss poor tackling like we should be. Yeah. It was everything. And the minute that flag got picked up, it took the air out of all of us on stream. It took the air out of everybody on the field. It took the air out, and then everything started piling on and piling on, and it just kept getting worse and worse, and it never got better. And like I said, I understand how everybody is angry, but we've said it before. I'll say it again. It's everything. Now with Freddie Kitchens, Pat, I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of excited if Freddie is going to start getting involved into this offense, and I'll tell you why. Because we have plays that worked. We were moving the ball. We get in the red zone and stall. But between the 20s, there's plays there that worked. So it's not like Freddie Kitchens has absolutely nothing to work with. But he's going to have to be on his game, and it wouldn't surprise me if Joe Judge had gone to him before the bye and said, Freddie, get ready, because if Garrett can't do this, if we have another bad performance, I've got to make a change. I want you prepared. I mean, Judge, right now, this is Judge's team. There's going to be no more confusion. But do you really feel that this next 6-7 games is going to be a really good turning point for Jones? I mean,
I'll say this. There's more changes that need to be made. Just because Jason Garrett is fired doesn't mean we're going to be a good team all of a sudden. Right. I still think this team struggles. I still think we struggle mightily, especially against the Eagles coming up. I think we struggle mightily against the Eagles. I feel
like with Kitchens, we actually moved the ball better.
Like I said, we're still going to struggle mightily, even with Kitchens in there. Freddie Kitchens doesn't change the defense giving up 18-play drives. Freddie Kitchens doesn't change the offensive line being the most trash offensive line in the game. Freddie Kitchens doesn't change Daniel Jones' hesitation in the red zone. Him missing easy passes at times, him missing reads. That doesn't change that. Only thing that can change is we might be able to see Toney being used a little bit different. We might see a couple of deep passes to Kenny Galladay now. What's going on Sunday? We might see Evan Ingram be used a little bit more. We might not see 3 people being guarded by 2 linebackers anymore. This film session on Friday is going to piss a lot of people off. So be prepared. Mm-hmm. But things that just normal things that should change. First, it was Jason Garrett being fired. Second, is Nate Solder should not be on this field anymore.
That was.
I don't care what's going on. You got to get a fair evaluation of what's my guy named Matt Pert. You got to get a fair evaluation of him. You got to see if this guy is able to be your right tackle, or even he's even good enough to be a swing tackle. You got to see that. Why are you still playing a guy that you know that won't be on this team next year, and you know that he is washed? Yeah, this guy's playing like. I mean, Logan could probably push this guy over right now, and that's no lie. No bull. I'm not bullshit.
He has
I
good
think
ties.
Logan might have a chance to push
He has
him
good
over
ties for their
the
team.
way he's playing right now.
Yeah.
You're the right tackle of this team, and you're letting a guy who you know has a torn rotator cuff juke you out and not get physical with him and make him use his arms with that torn rotator cuff in Jason Pierre-Paul.
Yeah.
You just let him run right past you.
Yep.
We have Derek Barnett, so y'all got a chance.
Derek Barnett would kill him.
You gotta
Hey,
get
Logan,
guys.
I'm gonna tell you who else
guys.
will kill us.
Hold on.
With Fletcher Cox.
You got to get guys like that off the field. Like seriously, you got to get guys like him off the field. And next, I'm putting in Isaiah Wilson over Hernandez because it can't get any worse. It can't get any worse. I got to see what Isaiah Wilson brings to this team. If he can move the way he was moving in those practices, catching balls, and he's able to block, I'm putting his ass out there because I got to see what we got. If we have a backup center, let's put in the backup center.
Yep.
Because he can't be hardly any worse than what Billy Price is doing. Let's see what we can do with 3 new offensive linemen on the right side. Let's see what we can do. Let's see how Daniel Jones turns out with 3 new offensive linemen in there because it damn sure can't get any worse.
Sure.
Only way it can get any worse is if all those guys just stop blocking, period. That's the only way it can get worse. But I don't see why we're not. I mean, man, there's other guys on this team for a reason. I wouldn't care if you put Cunningham in there at right tackle. He can't get any worse than what Nate Solder's doing. He can't. Nate Solder is the absolute worst lineman in the league right now. Sorry to say that. I hate that that his family went through whatever he went through during the COVID season. He wasn't able to work out. All that is great. Well, not great. All that is understandable. But if he's on the field and he's a liability, you have to get him off the field. Point blank, period. You have to get him off the field. And we continue to put guys like this on the field. Now, my attention is towards Joe Judge now. Everything is towards Joe Judge. You had the power to fire Jason Garrett. I don't know if you had the power to fire him earlier. But now you had to fire the power to fire Jason Garrett. Now it's on you. Now this is completely your team. There's no excuses.
Did you see Will Hernandez's grade today, Pat? Just curious.
No, I didn't. But it's gotta be.
Are you ready? Are you ready for this?
Yeah, this is out of 100 or less.
6.1, not 60.1.
6.1. No, that is bad as hell.
Big play Slay could do better than that.
That's
so
what
6.1. That means you were just standing on the field. You weren't even doing anything at all. There's no way I put a man that gets a 6.1 rating on the field the next week.
That's horrible.
And all the weeks before, it's not like he just fell off that game. No, he's been doing this all year.
Yep.
Nate Solder been doing this all year. Billy Price been doing this all year. I don't care. You got somebody on that practice squad who's willing to come up and play his butt off because he know this might be one of his only chances. See what you got.
Brett Heggie.
See what you got.
This is where I brought the point up to Logan. Pat, you know damn well as good as I do that the offensive coordinator's blocking schemes are what drives the play, correct?
Exactly.
All right, well, Jason Garrett's blocking schemes have sucked, and they haven't helped that pathetic weak offensive line, so definitely we got to see something change in Philly.
You're playing us, though, so you're kind of not.
It doesn't matter. You got to get some guys out there because, like Pat said, a traffic cone's going to produce a 7.
Derek Barnett sucks. That's all I care. Derek Barnett sucks. So y'all have a chance.
Right.
6.1 big play Slay. 6.1.
And let's switch it to this defense. I said before the bye week, we was going to see what this defensive line is doing. Game 1, very disappointed. Very disappointed. It's a glaring need at the edge position. It's a glaring need. Not turning on Roche or Ojulari, they're rookies. So they're going to have games like this. But we need some damn edge help, man. We need some edge help, man. Tom Brady was clean. Clean.
Mm-hmm.
Now I will put this on record. They did get a sack as soon as Brady left the field. And I told you guys Brady was going to be on one when he played against us. That guy is not a loser. You think that guy really wanted to lose 3 games in a row? That dude was on. Every little thing that he's seen, he hit it immediately. I told you he was going to do that. I told you he was going to come out on fire. That dude was running around like he was 25, 26 again. Even though it was slow as hell, he was still running at 44 years old and making plays.
Mm-hmm.
Still making plays. Scramble for a 10-yard gain. That dude was on one. You got to know that you got to bring it when a Brady-led team that's lost 2 games in a row after that performance against the Washington football team earlier, the previous week. If I know that dude is going to be on one, they should have knew he was going to be on one. The only mistake that he made was a mistake by the receiver letting the ball tip off his hands. That was the only mistake that he made. Other than that, he was perfect damn near. Perfect. You got to know that you can't play a bend don't break defense with Tom Brady when he's coming out on fire like that. He's going to take everything you give him, and that's what he did. And he's going to make a play or two to get that ball in the end zone. You got to know that.
Evans too.
You got to know that. That was just a poor game plan altogether. And you took 2 weeks to come out with a game plan like that. So, yeah, Jason Garrett deserves to be fired. And I promise you, that move was made because Joe Judge is on the hot seat, believe it or not. If this team doesn't show anything over these next 7 games, he's gone too. I promise you he is. That's a move made that the guy knows that his job is in jeopardy. What's up, Big Blue in the Bronx? What's up, Nate?
But Kenny Golladay had 1 target or 1 catch. That's not really good for y'all. Like, I just don't understand that. For a player like that, 1.
Listen. He was open twice in the end zone, 1 on the streak and 1 on the slant.
I still just don't understand how you can give him only like.
It's like I don't understand.
You guys see where it came out? That
what's up, brothers?
What's good,
all right, Miz talked to me earlier today, and I'm a man of my word. I'm gonna let him say what he has to say. Me and him are gonna rap for a couple of minutes. No interruptions. Miz has something to say, so let's get into it, Miz.
Yeah, I just wanted to give my point because I was thinking about it today, and actually I just uploaded my video, so it's still loading. I haven't done one in a long time, but to Joel, you were right last night, Joel, because I had a day to think about it, and you know me, I do the gym thing and whatever I do, and I had a while to think about it. I tell you right now, man, I'm still a big believer in Daniel Jones. I mean, I'm gonna stick by my horse. I like Daniel Jones. I think he could be a real good pocket passing quarterback, as the Giants have had their whole history. Okay, I think that we all know what the Giants need. We know we're going to have the picks to go get it. Now, in the next 7 games, we're going to find out. And it's Daniel Jones, and it's going to be Joe Judge. And if you want to throw Gettleman in that bag, you could throw Gettleman in that bag also, even though I have a feeling he's going to be stepping down at the end of the year either way. But you got to show us the next 7 games.
Yes. Yes.
Judge. And listen, man, Garrett was forced on Judge, okay, by Mara again. Okay, so again, people want to punch the bag. You want to punch Gettleman in the face and the stomach and use him as the guy that takes all the bullshit. That's fine. I mean, he's been taking it anyway for all the years he's been here. So that's fine. But we all know the devil that hides behind that punching bag is Mara. But Gettleman gets paid money to step up and take the bullshit for your boss, and that's what a lot of people in this country do, and that's part of his job. So that's what he does. But a lot of these moves that Gettleman made, drafting Barkley, drafting Jones, You know, Garrett coming in was forced by Mara because Joe Judge was a young coach with no experience, so they wanted to give him a veteran guy that could help him out. But the problem with that was that I think Garrett came in here and he was never happy to be the guy that he was. You know, he was a head coach in Dallas for, 9-10 years. He had 1 year below 500. So you think he wants to come in here and work under some kid that he doesn't respect at all, some nobody who worked under Belichick, who's basically a 37-year-old kid coming in here, you know? So you got to look at it that way. I'm pretty sure Garrett wasn't too, and from what I hear, they didn't have many conversations in the last year with each other. So it sounds like there was a major divide already. So, but because you're the owner of the team, put him there to help you, and he's been a past of the Giants' history. Judge had to sit there for as long as he can and eat it. And I think last night was the damn final straw. It was,
Miz.
You know?
Miz, just real quick.
Last night I came on angry because
you
noticed last night I didn't talk much because I'll be honest with you. I was in shock at what I watched yesterday. I was sick to my stomach.
Yeah, we all were.
I'm a believer. Daniel Jones could still be the guy, man. He's not going to be Jackson or Mahomes, but he's a guy that if we build the O-line, and we've never built this kid in O-line, and it's the same thing for Barkley. We've never put an O-line in front of these two. If we do the right thing, you could go one more year and really find out what we have.
Did you see Miz last night where Daniel Jones turned his back on the bench to Jason Garrett?
I heard several players last night in the locker room, Joe, fucking threw some shit fits. They've had it. I think Judge has had it a while ago. But like I said, when your boss asks you to show the guy respect and let's hang around and let's wait and let's see, you got to do it. And I've told you guys this in the past, man. I know people don't like Gettleman. I know he's a cocky, arrogant prick. But listen, a lot of this stuff is coming from – listen, the man's taking punishment from Mara, man. I can't believe people don't see that.
Yeah, that's facts.
Yeah, he's going to probably step down, you know. He's going to tell you also right now, right after me, I'm pretty sure, Nate, but the guy Gettleman is not as bad as people. They make it out to be like the guy's been in the NFL for 38 years for a reason, man. Come on.
Hey.
He's not like, if there's one thing, like,
just real quick, I just want one point.
Sure.
Miz, I got to call you later. You have no idea how much you just uplifted my spirits right there, my guy. I want to thank you very much. Go ahead, Nate.
Night, but I heard that you got mad and you got off. Yeah, you don't have to get upset like that.
Dude, I felt like a punching bag.
But, I think what Miz is saying, which is absolutely right, is Gettleman, I think, I'll put it this way. Gettleman certainly has a big part in the fact that we suck so bad. He's got a big part in a lot of these problems, but Gettleman also in a lot of ways is a victim here. Because, first off, Gettleman is not as stupid as a lot of people are making him out to be. When you hang around in the NFL this long, you know a thing or two. Now, granted, he's no genius. He's no god of football analytics or anything, but the guy's not as dumb as it may appear. And I'll say this. He has had a lot of shit pushed on him and forced on him by Mara. And a lot of that is coming out here. He's had coaches pushed on him. He's had draft picks pushed on him. And a big example of that, at least as far as I can tell, is Jason Garrett. Because to me, Jason Garrett is a Mara responsibility all the way. That is a guy that I think Mara wanted brought in because he liked Joe Judge, but he wanted to have head coaching experience in the building with him, because Joe Judge didn't bring that to the table. And he brought Jason Garrett in despite the fact that I'm pretty sure Joe Judge didn't want him there. I'm pretty sure Dave Gettleman didn't want him there. And it seems to me like it was a forced marriage between Judge and Garrett and to a large extent Gettleman and Garrett. And I think this is just a common theme with Dave Gettleman, which is he's obviously had a lot of busts. He's had a lot of bad moves. But at the same time, I think it's fair to say he's done a good job of getting the players the head coach wanted, which is entirely what the general manager's job is. A lot of people think the general manager and the head coach just operate independently. It's a two-part thing. No, that's not true. The general manager has two jobs. Job one, please ownership. Job two, get the players that the head coach wants and the head coach tells you to target. Because the head coach is the guy who knows how he's going to use those players. He knows how those players are going to work on the field together, and he has a plan for that. The general manager's job is to supervise everything that's going on in the team building process and to get as many of those guys as the head coach wants. And all that comes into the salary cap and the financial aspect of it and draft capital and picking actual players and scouting and blah, blah, blah. The point being, Dave Gettleman, I grant you, has not done a great job. He's had a lot of problems. He's made a lot of busts. But I think we really got to be careful not to put it all on him. Because then you're looking at just the most classic Giants mistake ever of just making him the scapegoat. Because he is a symptom of the bigger problem here. That bigger problem is that John Mara thinks he can run this team on his own and thinks that he can meddle in whatever he wants to with no consequences. No, John. Some of these guys actually know what they're doing. You need to let them work. And he's just not doing it. So for me, I think this team isn't going to get better until John Mara has a goddamn intervention, until someone sits him down, tells him he's a fucking idiot, and tells him to just let his coaches do what they want to do, let the general manager bring in the guys he wants to bring in, and just give whoever comes in after Gettleman and possibly after Judge, let them have a shot at this from a clean start. Because if there's one thing, and we've all beaten this dead horse at this point, so I won't belabor the point. If there's one thing that we all know, it's that we haven't had a clean start, a true clean start, in probably over a decade. We just keep firing one, keeping the other, firing one, keeping the other, and that shit ain't going to work. So for me, I think if we really want to see this team turn around, and we want to see this organization become healthy again, become better again, be restored to the Giants we know they should be, it's got to be a top-down cleaning process.
Big Blue in the Bronx, thank you for tuning in.
What's up,
bro?
Alex?
I haven't seen you in a long time.
Hey, how's it going there, Pat?
I'm gonna let you go real fast. I'm gonna say one thing about what Nate said. That's absolutely true. People need to know exactly what the GM and coach are conjoined at. The GM, his first obligation is always to please the owner. That's his first obligation.
That's job one.
He has to do that. No matter what goes on, if that GM doesn't please that owner, he's gone. Point blank, period. So
it's like
there
a
are a lot of
politician.
moves. Yeah, he's basically
First thing you got to do is make sure your voter base is going to reelect you. That's what it is.
So basically, whatever Mara is putting his nose in the business of this franchise, Gettleman has to sign off on it. If Gettleman didn't want to draft Saquon Barkley and Mara wanted Barkley, guess what? Gettleman's got to draft Saquon Barkley because that's the guy that signs the paychecks.
Mm-hmm.
Point blank, period. If he didn't want to draft Kadarius Toney and Joe Judge wanted Kadarius Toney and Mara signed off on it, guess what? Gettleman, shut your mouth. We're getting Kadarius Toney.
Mm-hmm.
We're trading down. We're getting Kadarius Toney. Has Gettleman done a bang-up job since he's been here? No, but he hasn't been that terrible either.
Yeah.
A couple of things that you killed him for actually turned out to be pretty damn good. Yeah. He's not a complete idiot like people think. I just think his hands are tied. I really do.
It's well said.
And then his health came into question as well because Dave Gettleman gets out there to scout. That's one thing Dave Gettleman did well for this franchise before he came to GM. He was a good scout. So I don't think you just lose scouting ability out of nowhere. This is the same guy that took the Panthers to the Super Bowl. What have the Panthers been after they fired him? What have they been?
A sinking
They've been
ship.
a shit franchise for so long. They just got Cam Newton back, and guess what? He bought out, and they still lost. Everybody wants to get on him for getting rid of Steve Smith. Guess what? Steve Smith went over to the Ravens and tore his Achilles the first year that he was there. He was an older receiver. This is a business. Older receivers, you get cut when you get older. You're not the same guy. Now, Steve Smith went on with the Ravens and had a decent 2 years over there, but that wasn't Steve Smith Sr. He didn't produce like Steve Smith Sr. when he went over there. That turned out to be a good decision. Steve Smith's a prideful guy. He loved Carolina. And I could get it. He's mad at Dave Gettleman. A lot of people are mad at the GM after they get cut because they don't feel like they're supposed to get cut. But guess what? It's a business.
Exactly. That's exactly how I'd say it. I mean, that's the last word is the perfect way to sum it up. Whatever's best for business is what the general manager needs to do. I mean, you see it in movies all the time when you got to sit the guy down and tell him he's cut, and it's always a difficult conversation. Yeah, it's painful. It sucks. Those guys have families, but at the same time, your job is to put the best team possible on the field. And unfortunately, that is what's best for business, and it doesn't look like that's been what's happening. So for whatever reason, and I think a lot of that is John Mara trying to run the team himself because he's just an egotistical dumbass. I think a lot of that is him, and a lot of it is the fact that the relationship between coach and general manager has just not been there because there hasn't been time. You know, we've had coaches in and out the door, and there's no time for that to build up. You know, you can't operate well in a front office without cohesion, and that cohesion is not going to be there after a season. You know, so I think a lot of this is just a problem of our own making. It's a monster that John Mara has been building himself. We're reaping what we sow.
I'm gonna make one more point, but I'm gonna let Big Blue in the Bronx go. Sorry, I know you've been waiting. Go ahead, big dog.
Thank you, Pat, for having me on. I usually like these panels that y'all do, even on Joel's channel. I do enjoy it. I mean, obviously, you got the bigger content creators, but you guys should really deserve more attention. I have to agree with 100% of what Nate said there, and you know, it's sad, obviously, because we're at this point as Giant fans where we're arguing over who's the problem, and you know, we don't know what the problem is. It just seems like a lot of people, and I hate to be a hypocrite, but it seems like a lot of people are kind of have that narrative where it's Garrett or Gettleman. You know, there's nothing about Patrick Graham after yesterday. Defense didn't play great. I think we could say that. I think Pat was talking earlier about the soft coverage and stuff like that. That's not going to get it done against Tom Brady. I mean, obviously people will say, oh, well, you know, he takes what the defense gives him. But, you know, no, be aggressive in this league, not conservative. And that's just what the Giants are, even outside of Jason Garrett. But I agree with a lot of what Nate had to say there. I'm not going to be on here for too long, but I want to get this point across. And I'm going to leave it at this. I saw a debate earlier, obviously, about that whole crossing route pattern. Here's where I could advocate for both sides, and I'm going to talk about my general viewpoint afterwards. Obviously, there's a ton of people who broke it down on Twitter, Dan Orlovsky, whatever. So it's not going to make too much sense. It's going to sound a little raw because we obviously don't have the footage. But here's the thing. Here's my opinion what happened on that play. You could blame both because, A, you look at Daniel Jones. Obviously, his read, the designed read on that play was the crossing routes. In my opinion, just to throw the defense off was that deep ball. So his read is the crossing routes. And, you know, there's no way, there's no damn way in hell. And, you know, I'm going to clear this up right now. I've never played a down of football in my entire life. I've been trying to get on the board with it, you know, the last 2 years I've been doing YouTube content. But with that being said, Daniel Jones, after 2 seconds in the pocket, is not going to sit there and look at his crossing routes and then just, you know, hover it deep. It's just not going to happen. What you can say and what you could try to maneuver about that point is, oh, well, Daniel Jones could take a split-second look at the crossing routes and then just go deep because obviously what Jason Garrett has done, in my opinion, is made him as a one-read quarterback. So there's both faults on both sides there. I mean, you know, and I'm going to say this. I truly don't think Daniel Jones is the answer right now. I think last night kind of, you know, put that opinion there for me. I hope to be wrong. And I'm also not going to go out on Twitter and criticize people who believe in Daniel Jones because it's a tough situation for them. It is. And, you know, as long as you come to an argument, you know, obviously passion's part of it. But if you come to an argument and you have somewhat of a backup stance and you have evidence behind your point, then I'm not going to blame you. But the fact that, like, some Giant fans are attacking others with laughing faces and all these other things is that, you know, oh, well, you know, you believe in Daniel. Like, no. I mean, we're a part of the same fan base here. Obviously, some is driven by passion, some is driven by facts. Let them be. I mean, you should be pointing your fingers to the front office, this coaching staff, Dave Gettleman, you know, and the Giants in general, not the fan base. I mean, the fan base has only been contributing and producing content and buying the tickets. And Ash Money says Daniel Jones could escape that block. I think it was, 3rd and 2? So, yes, that was also possible as well. But once again, there's blame on both sides of the ball. Mm-hmm. Now, I don't think anything too much is going to change with Freddie Kitchens becoming the interim offensive coordinator. But, and also going back to my point about, well, I don't think Daniel Jones is the answer. You can't really replace him with anybody. I mean, there's not a firm replacement. Personally, I haven't watched too much of him, but I kind of like Kenny Pickett so far. I have to watch more of him, but I guess see Nate making the face. I'll let him speak.
Nah, I'll explain later. It's all right. Keep going.
But Malik Willis. Obviously, a lot of people complain about Daniel Jones. He's drafted from Duke, right? But Malik Willis is from Liberty. Matt Corral, is he the answer? And then you look at free agency and people are talking about, we got to get a bridge QB like Tyrod Taylor and Cam Newton. How much better are they than Daniel Jones, and how much are they suited for the next couple of years? It's no, you can't really go that way. So the Giants are in a bit of a pitiful situation, and they're most likely on the track right now. Despite what we think as fans, they're going to keep Daniel Jones, they're going to keep Joe Judge, and they're going to fire Dave Gettleman, which isn't the right thing to do because you're cutting one half of the body and saving the other half.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just my thoughts on that.
And Alex,
hold on 1 second, Nate. About the Daniel Jones situation on that play.
Mm-hmm. I was actually just going to address the same thing, but go on.
Okay. I'm gonna let you go right after me. We usually think the same type stuff all the time, but I'm gonna let you go. That play right there. Right there. You have to blame that on Garrett and Jones. Reason why? The play concept was to beat man. The Buccaneers did a good job showing that they were going to blitz and then backing out of it. The play call for 3rd and 2, that play call, I really don't like that play call because you have so many people in one area. So if they do switch to a zone, that's what happens if they switch to a zone. You got receivers confused, almost running into each other, trying to get underneath or over the top of a zone player. And it's just dumb. You had a defensive tackle almost guarding 2 people. You had a defensive tackle guarding 2 of your receivers in the middle of the field because of play scheme. Second, Daniel Jones. He's at what, 3rd year? Is this his 3rd year or 4th year?
This is his 3rd year.
This is your 3rd year. You should be able to be like, okay, I see that they backed out. Now they're in the zone. So your mind on the field, you do that with people like Tom Brady, who's on one, they actually see exactly what you're doing. When you come up to the line of scrimmage, he's like, okay, I'm going to call this lineman and make him block because you might blitz. Even if you back out of that blitz, he has another plan set in his head to say, if they back out, I'm going to hit this guy right here.
Yeah.
Daniel Jones doesn't have that. Daniel Jones, he doesn't maneuver in the pocket well. Everybody think that this guy could be an RPO quarterback or he's a great athlete, or yes, he does have some athletic ability, but his pocket presence and moving in that pocket is probably one of the worst in the league.
Yeah, definitely.
One of the worst in the league. It's like he's Tom Brady, but he doesn't have the pocket presence. He has the pocket presence of a rookie quarterback. He does.
If not worse, honestly.
So we're going to have to see what happens. Now, last night I kind of went off the deep end. Like I said, I probably have to apologize to Joel as well. But I went off the deep end. You got to evaluate Daniel Jones these last 6 games.
7, right? 7 games.
Well, 7 games. I'm sorry, 7 games. And even if you have to take Daniel Jones into next year, get this kid an offensive line. Miz is right. This kid has never had an offensive line to speak of. What you do is you use your draft capital and you use whatever you need to do to fix this offensive line and get a pass rush.
Yeah.
Those should be the only 2 things you're thinking about this offseason.
Yep.
Offensive line and getting a pass rush.
Yeah.
And then you can get a fair evaluation of Daniel Jones. Get him an offensive line. Now, if he has an offensive line that gives him time and he's still doing the same things, then you got to get rid of his ass.
Yeah. And I think you were right, by the way. We do think along much the same lines. I think personally, I don't have quite the same problem with the play call in that situation of the mesh concept. I don't hate that in short yardage, just because if you do get the right look, it can be a quick dump off, easy yards. But what you have to understand going along with that as a quarterback is if you do, like you're talking about, get a zone look, you got to back off, know what your backup plan is, right?
Yeah.
But the whole thing is that my problem isn't necessarily with the fact that we got beat on the play call. Because again, I don't hate the mesh concept in that. I don't love it, but I don't hate it. And Todd Bowles, by the way, play calls like that, of having that sort of situational awareness, that's going to be why Todd Bowles does get another shot as an NFL head coach, and he is going to, I promise. But with that sort of stuff, it happens a lot where a play call just beats another play call. That's a lot of the meta game that is football. A lot of that is just concepts and what coordinators match up with each other with. So I don't necessarily have a huge problem with that. My real problem comes in the execution of everything after the snap. I mean, my God, just anything that could have gone wrong went wrong. I mean, on this mesh concept, right? Joel's talking about how Jones went through his reads, and the thing there is that every quarterback and every quarterback coach in every single offensive scheme in the league has a different read progression, and that's going to be different depending on where you go and who you talk to. So I don't really think I can confidently speak on that. But what I will say is Jones definitely got screwed from the snap on that play. The problem is he did not help himself at all. His receivers just completely blew the play up, obviously. They didn't execute, because when you're in that situation, your job as a receiver when you see a zone look against a mesh is to find a soft spot and sit down and try and get your quarterback an easy pitch and catch. And obviously, they all just kind of huddled up and had a group meeting. And they were covered by, one defender? 3 receivers in the middle of the field? So that's a problem in and of itself. But Daniel Jones, the pocket presence is going to continue to be a problem. It just is. And they rushed 3, and our offensive line crumbled, which isn't Jones's fault. But again, there is 1 or maybe 2 lanes to escape that collapsing pocket. And if he can do that, with his athleticism, he can probably get those 2 yards. I would wager, So Jones has to be able to just stop freezing up, because he does that sometimes. When his first look isn't there, or when he wants isn't there, he'll freeze up in that pocket, man, and he just won't be decisive. And you have to be decisive as an NFL quarterback. So that's some of the problems, but we're not done yet, because of course we're not. It's the Giants. Why would we ever be done with the terribleness? And at that point, you're talking about Daniel Jones, and you brought up the fact that people want him to be an RPO quarterback and that kind of thing. The way I put it is Daniel Jones is a good runner and an awful scrambler. Daniel Jones, in any sort of scramble situation, is worthless. He has no ability to keep his eyes downfield. He has no discipline when he's moving out of the pocket. He has no pocket awareness, and he has no spatial awareness. The guy is just a mess once the play breaks down. And in a situation like that, it highlights the fact that in the modern NFL, with these kind of passing concepts and this kind of aggressive situation that we find ourselves in, if you're a modern quarterback, you have to be able to extend the play. Once that play breaks down, you need to be at your best, not at your worst. You have to be able to operate under those conditions and operate under that pressure. Otherwise, you're just not going to be successful. And Daniel Jones hasn't been successful in that situation. And Alex, you have a fantastic talent for bringing up 1,000 points that I want to address all at once. But just to sort of put a bow on this one thing with that one play call, I think we have a lot of problems that we're trying to address at once. And Jason Garrett is gone now, and I think he should have been gone a long time ago. I was someone that was talking about that as early as anyone. And I think a lot of Giants fans, and I don't get why, I do not understand it, a lot of Giants fans think things are going to get better now that Freddie Kitchens is calling plays. I don't know what you see in that. I don't understand. Make it make sense to me. The guy got fired after his first season as an actual head coach for the Browns. He was an interim head coach for half a season, maybe a little less actually, and then he got fired for a terrible scheme the next year in his play calling. And now he's coming here, and he was in for like a week because Jason Garrett had COVID, and that week our offense put up nothing. I grant you we had injuries, but still, the play calling was not any better. I don't understand why now Giants fans are like, oh, thank God, Freddie Kitchens is in. We're saved. It's just it speaks to the fact that we need a full cleanse. And I see Joel has been waiting to talk, so please go right ahead.
Well, first of all, have you guys seen the article where it said DJ had no control of the offense? Just curious.
I've heard about it. Who was the one that broke that?
I've heard about the article. Yeah,
I don't remember, but that was a big thing. All right, so everything that you guys were describing, it sounds like Jason Garrett was really hamstringing this whole offense.
It does.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now for the second part of that with Freddie Kitchens. His first year with the Browns, he was just the offensive coordinator, right? And then he got transferred over to the head coach. And that year, he did make Baker Mayfield look like a superstar. Okay. Now, what I'm looking at is because the Giants have moved the ball between the 20s. We do have plays that work. There's a little tweaking involved. But I don't think it's going to be just Kitchens that's going to be involved in this offense. I think when Judge brought that guy over from LSU who coached Burrow,
Russ Callaway.
Yeah, I think Russ Callaway and Kitchens are going to be ineffectively co-offensive coordinators. They might be working together. I don't think that Judge is letting one guy do it because there's too much right now for one guy with 7 games left and everybody's ass on the line. I think he's going to be calling in as many people as he can.
Yeah.
I think that would be the smart thing to do.
I think if that does end up happening, that might, I'll say this. If Russ Callaway does end up having a role, that's probably best case scenario because that means he can.
Yeah.
But I don't know. He's as wet behind the ears as they come, man.
Yeah, but right now it's Judge's ass, and Judge is doing whatever he can to make sure he's the job next year. You know what? We're all kind of happy sitting on this paddle. The Garrett's gone. But it's going to take 2 to 3 weeks before this offense gets rolling, the minimum.
Oh, absolutely.
Unfortunately, but
bare minimum.
But we should be seeing better play calls, better results, and I'll tell you what. I'm kind of excited because I want to know who kept Solder out there as right tackle. Was that Garrett? Was that Garrett? Okay.
Oh,
are we going to see Isaiah Wilson and maybe Matt Pert on the right side of this offensive line? Okay, are we going to get another guy to play center? This starting lineup that's coming Sunday, guys, this is something to really pay attention to. If Judge is wanting to save his ass and he's not seeing the results he wants to see, we should see some better change. Well, I shouldn't say better. Different changes, different players. We saw it on the defense. Carter and Zimenez are benched.
Mm-hmm.
When we saw Judge got involved with the defense, guess what? Guys were getting benched, healthy scratches, get out of here. Yeah. And then when and here's another thing we're not talking about. How come on that 3rd and 2 or 4th and 2, whatever, Kadarius Toney and Kenny Galladay are on the sideline? We got a practice squad tight end that we called up. We got Barkley and Slayton out there. We're not fooling anybody. How come that's not being brought up?
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, there's so much that has gone wrong with these personnel decisions. And, I'll tell you what, though. Man, Big Pat brought it up when he said there's some guys on the practice squad that I think I'd rather see than Nate Solder right now. Because, those are guys that'll play for their ass. Those are guys that are going to play for that opportunity. I'll tell you what, man. I am fucking tired as hell of watching these guys not give a shit. I am so goddamn tired of watching Nate Solder just lope his way around the field. No intensity, no effort, no fire, no drive, no motor. I want, I'll tell you this. Even if somehow, some way, if this is even theoretically possible, one of those offensive linemen on the practice squad is worse than Nate Solder, if he's going to come up here and be worse but give more effort while being worse, I would rather watch that, honestly. Because Nate Solder, he's going to get beat either way. Can he at least try? Can our offensive linemen at least, make a legitimate attempt to block and do their jobs? Because I swear to God, And no one is safe from this. I'll tell you what. It's frustrating to not see your playmakers on the field, but after Kenny Golladay just didn't even give an attempt on that block on the screen pass to Kadarius Toney, if I was coaching the team, his ass would have been benched too, because that is some just Bush League crap. You think you're better than this team? You think you're getting paid some money so you can just take plays off? You can not play through the whistle. You can ignore your block and let your teammate get his ass kicked by a free man? No, that's ridiculous. You think that's going to fly? It's not. If I was coaching this team, those guys are getting benched. Guys that actually want to play, want to make blocks, want to be physical, want to tackle. Those guys, they're the ones that are going to get reps. Because at this point, you want to say, oh, they're not as good, you're losing production. What production? What production? We're 3-7.
No.
Kenny Golladay is getting paid millions to do nothing. We're not letting any of these guys be held accountable for their actions. Nate Solder's getting paid to just stand there and wave his arms around. We're paying guys to give 0% effort. Not less than 100, 0% effort. And I think this is one of the things that bothered me all goddamn year. I can deal with the problems. I can deal with it. It sucks. It's hard to watch this team be bad. But it's so much worse that it looks like so many of these guys just don't give a shit. For me, if it's like, for those who know me, you know that one of my favorite sports movies ever is Moneyball. And when Billy Bean walks into that locker room and he sees these guys fucking partying after a loss, he is more pissed off than at any point in that entire movie. And I relate to that with this Giants team. Because it looks to me like nobody fucking cares.
Oh, wow.
Nothing's changing. The offensive coordinator doesn't care enough to change things and try new things. Granted, he was trying new things in the Bucs game, but way too little, way too late. You know? No one cares enough to put in 100% effort on every play. This coaching staff doesn't care enough to change. They're too stubborn to actually do their jobs. If I'm paying you millions of dollars to play a children's game, you better at least fucking give me the effort and put in, you know? If you're going to be playing on this team and I'm running this team, you better fucking, like, actually put your stuff on the line for us, you know?
Man, I'm wondering how many players got called out in the locker room by other players. Dude, what you just said right there, I have to wonder what went on with that, too.
Hey,
there's
man,
just no accountability.
TV a little bit in the background.
Yeah.
Now, for one more quick question, and then I'm going to shut up because I want to let Miz and everybody else get a shot here. Does anybody believe that Steve Tisch might have entered the office last night and cornered Mara?
Now we're getting in some office politics that are over my head, man.
Well, yeah, but you know what? Nate, you're a Giants fan. You've seen Tisch go after Mara before. All right, and if Mara was really saving Garrett, I almost wonder if Judge might not have backdoored through Tisch. He was tired of the shit, you know?
Yeah.
Look, I'm not saying it happened. I'm just saying, what if?
It's a fun question.
It's a fun question, and it possibly could have happened.
I put some money on that he did.
I
put money on it.
I believe that Jason Garrett was named the scapegoat, and John Mara, if he kept Jason Garrett around after that press conference by Joe Judge, I believe Mara would have had to hire some extremely good security walking in and out of that New York Giants stadium. I'm just going to be honest with you. And I normally don't agree with what's the guy, Tim Online Big Blue or whatever his show is, but he's right. Jason Garrett is the scapegoat. He's the scapegoat for everything that's going wrong with this offense. And that's just it.
Garrett?
Yeah. And I think when you bring up the fact that he's a scapegoat, that, again, speaks to the fact that it's everything going wrong at once. And I do want to say, I don't want it to seem like I'm not blaming Jones, because Jones, he has a lot of problems. And we are, as always, going to transition this conversation back to our quarterback, Daniel Jones, because we can't go a stream without talking about him, it seems like. But with Daniel Jones, it's so incredibly difficult, you know, because I want this kid to be good so bad. And I like for so much of this season, I was like, yes, he's our guy, you know? And it's so difficult to root for and believe in this kid when there's just no consistency, you know? And I will say, I am definitely excited to see what happens now that Jason Garrett's gone, now that it's sort of under new management, whatever. Yep. I'm excited to see if things might change, if Judge and whoever he puts in the offensive coordinator role, they sort of just let Jones do what he wants to do. I'm excited to see if Jones wants to take that opportunity, you know? But for me, I've said this once, I've said it a million times. You've probably heard me say this on one of these streams. I believe in controlling the controllables. And for Daniel Jones, a lot of that stuff, just week in, week out, it's not being done. And I think if you want to be a guy at this point in your career, you want to be that guy, you want to be the franchise quarterback, there's steps you have to take. And it's every week, man. Which Daniel Jones are we going to get? Which one? Are we going to get the Saints Daniel Jones? Are we going to get him? Are we going to get fucking last night's Daniel Jones, who's making just and we will have to talk about this more, but I'll just briefly bring it up, who's making decisions off his back foot with 2 defensive linemen in his face to throw it across his body with no platform to a receiver that isn't looking for the ball and not get it within 10 yards of him and throw an incredibly accurate pass right to a 350-pound defensive lineman who just kind of sort of hugs the ball, you know? Just, I don't know what to do with this. I'll hug the ball. And that was kind of what happened there.
What's going on, Zion?
It's every week, which Daniel Jones are we going to get? And you can't operate under that set of conditions with a franchise quarterback.
I would like to get to one point, though. I know you guys brought up saying the effort of the players. You say I know Nate say he's looking at players and it seems like they just don't give a fuck. I will only say that about a couple of players. That's Nate Solder, because he doesn't give a damn. And reason why he may give a damn, but he just can't do it, man. He's washed.
Oh yeah, he's done.
Will Hernandez, I don't think he gives a damn at all. Billy Price, he may give a damn, but he's just washed. He can't do anything about it. I will say this: I see it a couple of times out of Kenny Galladay too.
Oh yeah.
Now I'm not going to make an excuse for him. This is definitely not an excuse for not participating 100% and giving your effort for your brothers out there on the field. But when you got an offensive coordinator that's not using you the way you're supposed to be used, and you know it going into the game, every freaking game, that gets a little frustrating, bro.
It's fair, yeah. I totally get where you're coming from there.
Yeah, when you're known around the league as a deep ball catcher and a 50-50 guy, and you know how to box out people to get the ball, and you haven't got one deep pass the whole year, maybe one or two. You haven't got a fade in the end zone all year. They haven't used you in the red zone at all this year. They'll rather put Rudolph out there, or they'll bring in they'll let a practice squad tight end come in there before you on an important 3rd and 2.
Yeah,
that's frustrating as hell, man. Same thing with Kadarius Toney.
Hey, Pat, can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry to interrupt you. Hey, first things first, how's it going, everybody? Hope everybody's having a good night tonight.
Yeah, we're all right.
As far as I'm concerned, it's a good day. It's a good day because Jason Garrett's gone. I know everybody has their, their takes on that, but he's gone. I'm glad he's gone. The one thing I'll say where this whole scenario and Joe Judge play comes into play, as of right now,
didn't want no wish.
As of right now, in my opinion, I'm glad that they got rid of him, because you know what? If Freddie Kitchen comes in and they allow Russ Callaway to have some input, you got fresh eyes on this now. You have fresh eyes on this whole entire situation. This was something that they needed at the end of last year, because the moment they brought in Jason Garrett and we saw how his offense was, we knew it wasn't going anywhere. So this was just a long time coming. For people to say, have the opinion that Jason Garrett was a scapegoat, the way I look at it, he was on the hot seat since the end of last season. He was on the hot seat. So technically speaking, he was always going to be the was that.
You still there, bro?
Adam, I didn't get no wish. I just got mentally
waiting for
Trained.
577 to come back. I mean, he was getting to the point where he's saying Jason Garrett was on a hot seat since last season. If so, Jason Garrett should have been fired after the first 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's not really a zero-sum game. Both of those things can be true. I mean,
still mentally drained.
Just because Jason Garrett deserved to be fired doesn't mean he's also not a scapegoat, because I think he is. I think Jason Garrett should have been fired, and he was. But at the same time, a lot of people are sort of unloading the blame for all of this onto him when he's just one part of it. He's one symptom of the disease, you know? So I think in terms of what he's talking about, with Jason Garrett being on the hot seat since last season, I wouldn't have hired him in the first place. It's like going down the highway. There's a lot of exits, and I would have taken every single one of them, you know? So I think for Jason Garrett, he's gone. No one's really going to miss him. It's time to move on.
Hey, sorry about that. I don't know what happened there just now.
Shout out to Big Blue in the Bronx for stopping in. That's who I lost. But look, I mean, the Jason Garrett thing is only the beginning. And I'm going to let Miz get in if he wants to say anything, because he's been quiet for a while. I don't know if he's just enjoying it or he's just waiting to get his turn.
And I have been talking too much, so I am going to hop out and let you guys keep going for the night. Adios.
All right, Nate, man. Thank you for always dropping in, bro.
All right, Nate.
But it's only the beginning. It's only the beginning with Jason Garrett, man. I will say, I think he was probably the main cause of this offense being bad like that. I will have to give about 70% to him. But we're going to see, man. We're going to see. I'm not calling out anybody that likes Daniel Jones and all that. I'm not into that, man. I'm not calling him Danny Dickhead like Ash is calling him. I love Ash, but it's kind of unfair where if you go to a job and you get evaluated and you don't have any tools. Say if you're a carpenter and you don't have any tools to do your carpentry, they say you suck. And you're like, well, damn, I don't have any tools to get the job done. I need this tool to do this. I need this tool to do that. And I don't have it. But what I can get on Daniel Jones about is being able to improvise. Jalen Hurts' offensive line people is not that much better than what we have. It's not. Yes, they have a decent left tackle. We have a decent left tackle. I believe their right tackle is absolute trash. Jason Kelce is on his last leg at center. Is he better than Billy Price? Hell yeah. Their right guard has been injured from the beginning of the season. Brooks stays injured. Can you tell me the name of their left guard? I can't. But that guy, every time he gets pressure in his face, you pretty much know that he has a good chance of breaking that pocket and making something happen with his feet or his arm. Does Jalen Hurts have the best arm? No, he doesn't. But that guy makes some good NFL throws when he's counting on him. That guy literally could go 9 for 20, but get you three rushing touchdowns and win the game for you. That's what Daniel Jones doesn't have. He hasn't shown playmaking ability. He hasn't. And that's just a fair observation. His pocket presence is below average at best. That's just fair. So let's see if we get this guy offensive line next year and we have a good offensive line. This guy has time in the pocket. And let's see what he does. Let's see what he does.
I think that's the point I was just about to get to. I did a video earlier today with Rick and Joel. That video will probably be out later on tonight, if not tomorrow. We were just talking about obviously Jason Garrett being fired, and that sets us up. Obviously, it's a weird fire to come down to week 11, but it's a necessary fire because he wasn't doing anything to create new. He wasn't game changing anything. It was just a simple offense that everybody already knew. Even Eli said it on stream, and I was watching his game. He's all like, "Oh, look, they're winning that play. They always won that play." And obviously, we don't go and we don't get the first down. Obviously, they know what's coming. It's like teams know our playbook. Garrett was, he'll be okay. You know what I'm saying? I never like wishing firing upon someone, but man, Garrett's set up. You know what I'm saying? He'll be good. Just looking forward to Kitchens being a head coach. Obviously, it's gonna take a couple of weeks. I know you guys probably touched on that earlier in the stream. The thing is too, I just don't want to throw Daniel Jones to the roofs because at the end of the day, like I get it, people was overreacting and stuff like that, and I get it. He has a lot of things he needs to clean up on, but at the end of the day, he can't even trust the people that's blocking for him, and that makes hell of a big difference if you can't even trust your offensive line. And second thing too, it's if you look at it, it's not like he went out there and he underperformed against Jacksonville, against the Detroit Lions, the worst tackling team in the league. It was against the Super Bowl champions, a team that haven't won a game in like 29 days. They had 2 losses and a bye. So, of course, Tampa Bay was hungry. Of course, Tampa Bay wanted to come out firing, and they absolutely did. I was more mad at our defense and how our defense looked last night than anything. But obviously, we're going to bring up the quarterback in Daniel Jones, and hopefully Freddie Kitchens can spread the field a little bit more, which I believe he will. And also, too, a little bit new school of offense rather than your old Jason Garrett area Carolina. And the thing is, that offense works if you have a running game. He worked with DeMarco Murray because he had an offensive line. Guess what? We don't have an offensive line. So you can't really take shots down the field if you can't block. And that's that's basic football, right? So hopefully we can figure out something this year. And going into next year, we get these guys some people to blocks, draft through the trenches. If we have to go 2 first-round picks on both a Gordon in the center, a right tackle in the center, or whatever it has to be, if we even have to go get an edge rush, one of those picks, I wouldn't mind it. But it needs to be straight trenches, and we need to give this kid another chance. And I get it. Y'all want to come and maybe some of you Giants of community may come and say, like, stop making excuses and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, we never had a fair evaluation of the kid. And if you look at it, like, when's the last time this kid had a full healthy team in front of him? And I get it, it sucks, but at the end of the day, we're a 5-star organization, and I get it. Our record may not show that as recent, but we've been a winning franchise for a long time. And the thing is, we're spoiled by that. So I know it's been a long time, but guess what? Detroit doesn't even win a Super Bowl. Detroit been waiting for 67 years. So we can go get a new quarterback in here. I don't know how we're going to find the money to go pay someone like Watson, but we can go magically print money and get someone like Watson and then start from scratch and then not see the playoffs until 2025 and basically go back to page 1. We get a quarterback in here without building the team. I say we stay with Daniel Jones. We let it ride out one more year, and hopefully I pray that the problem was Garrett, and because we didn't see this type of problems with Sherman, and we'll just go from there. You know what I'm saying? That's my thoughts on those situations.
Just to welcome Max Webster back to the panel. What's going on, Max? If you can hear me, man, haven't seen you in a minute. How you been?
I've been good, man. Today was the day that I finally closed on my house. So right now I'm in the house with an air mattress and my computer set up. Tomorrow starts the moving process, and it'll probably be a little bit until I can get the channel back up and running. But I'm in the house, so steps are moving forward, and hopefully that happens pretty soon.
That's what's up, man. But I seen you. A lot of people saying, let's go get Russell Wilson. A lot of people are saying we could get Russell Wilson. I just want your thoughts on that because I seen your quote right here. So what are your thoughts about that? What are your thoughts about Daniel Jones, going forward with Daniel Jones, get rid of Daniel Jones? Just what you think about the whole quarterback situation.
Well, if we're being honest, I think any realistic Giants fan is still thinking, unless we lose every game from here on out the rest of the season, Joe Judge is probably back next year. As of right now, you have Daniel Jones tied to him, who's still on a rookie deal, like it or not. Daniel Jones, who knows if he's the guy? I'd like him to be, but as Nate said earlier, one week he shows us flashes, the other week we see what we saw last night and against the Rams. There's no predicting who he's going to be which week. But I think next year we don't have any choice but to run with Daniel Jones. We can't use our high picks in this draft to take a quarterback that nobody thinks is super highly of, like the Trevor Lawrence or the Tua Tagovailoa or whoever was thought to be great coming out of college. There isn't one this year. So you have to stick it out with Daniel Jones for another year because we can't afford to bring in a good quarterback that's been proven due to the contracts of the likes of Logan Ryan and Kenny Golladay and Leonard Williams and all these people we just paid, Adoree Jackson. How are you going to bring a quarterback that's going to make $30-40 million a year into here without being over the cap, because even if you do try to say, hey, we'll cut these players, we'll trade those players, you're still wrapped up in their salary for next year, even if you trade them.
That's currently right. We can create a little bit of cap space, but we're still going to be cap handed if you bring in somebody like a Russell Wilson. Then we got to give up draft capital to bring them in. So you basically put them in the same situation Daniel Jones is in.
Right.
And let's be honest, he's not playing too hot over in Seattle right now. To be honest,
I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants pick up a 5th-year option on Daniel Jones and then franchise tag him either. Run it like a Kirk Cousins situation, even if he's not the guy. Continue to build. Unless there is that guy that you know is the guy, then you have to take it. But other than that, you can't keep forcing draft picks.
Okay, I've seen Brick City say this a couple of times. Hold on, Max. He says, draft that QB from Liberty in the second round and put some pressure on DJ.
Malik Willis will be gone by the first.
And there's no quarterback worth a first-round pick that high in this draft coming up. I'm just sorry. I do my research on draft prospects every year. I promise you, there's no quarterback worth drafting. None of these quarterbacks are going to be better than what DJ is right now. I promise you that. Where are you going to go? Joe, you still there?
Yeah, I'm still here.
Man, it sound like somebody just beat the hell out of Joe today.
Yeah, they did. I just mentally beat down, man. It's like Adam said, I got my wish. I didn't get no friggin' wish. I just got mentally abused, and I'm sorry I felt that way.
Yeah, so Max, what do you think about the Giants as a whole going forward? What do you think they should do?
You're talking more specifically this offseason or what?
Just this offseason going forward. What should you think they do?
I went on the Entertainer stream a while ago, and I put forward a crazy claim that a lot of the New York Giants fan base doesn't like, but I think it's in the best interest long term because, like I said earlier, I think Joe Judge is going to be here for at least one more year. And I really don't want to break up another head coach, GM, and start different timetables. Now you're continuing that. I also think at the end of next year is where you can start looking to unload some contracts. So I think one more year of Dave Gettleman, maybe involving someone from the outside to give like an extra voice. But if Joe Judge is here to stay, I think Dave Gettleman should as well because we've been on these odd timetables for far too long. And I think really, even if we bring in a new GM this offseason, what's he going to be able to do? I mean, yeah, we have some draft picks, but he's not going to make it his team in one offseason unless he can unload some of these contracts and some of the players that he doesn't want on his team that are already here. You can't just make a team yours by taking 9 people in a draft.
Hey, Max, you want to say that again one more time?
By no
I've been
means
saying that.
By no means am I saying that. By no means am I saying that Joe Judge and Dave Gettleman are the future. I think if you're going to give Joe Judge another year, then you have to give Dave Gettleman include extra voices. By all means, bring extra people in if you don't think Dave Gettleman's the guy. But you can't hire an outside person, start them on a different timeline than your head coach is on, just with the plans of if the team's bad again next year, you're firing your head coach. It makes no sense.
Or just as good. You put an apple in Mara's mouth and you lock him somewhere in a closet. And maybe Mara doesn't get too much input anymore.
That's a good solution.
Maybe Tish needs to start getting involved, which I think he's real close to.
I mean, it really doesn't make any sense to keep firing one guy and not the other. Either you blow it all up or you let them stay one more year and see if they can fix it with these 10 draft picks.
Right, and I think this year you can't blow it all up because of the contracts. Sure, you can bring in a new head coach, offensive coordinator, GM, but how much is the team really going to change next year? Right, how much is the team going to change next year? And people give Joe Judge credit for these drafts that have happened in the last 2 years, but I think like Dave Gettleman has always drafted the players that the coaches have wanted. Like when you saw Pat Shurmur come in here, and who was his defensive coordinator there that everybody hated? What was his name?
Betcher.
Yeah, James Betcher. Then you saw the influx of people like Marcus Golden, Antoine Bethea, people who these coaches wanted to coach, and they have coached before. So Dave Gettleman, all he's done really is give the coaches the people they want. So if you're going to come in here and you're going to start fresh with a new GM, then, I mean, you're not going to give the GM the team that he wants, and then after the team is bad next year, he's going to go, I don't want this coach, and then you're firing the coach because the team's been bad for too long and JoJo just had 3 years, and you just can't change that much this offseason. It's unfortunate. We went out and spent a ton of money, and we are still bad. However, this offseason, it can't be fixed. I understand people wanting answers, wanting heads, wanting things to change, but because of what we did 6 months ago, we can't do that in 6 months.
Yeah, but you could change it in the draft. Yep. And if you stack the O-line, the Giants could be a much better team next year. They have the weapons.
I think
bring me Evan Neal and Tyler
Linderbaum being a very good team. Yep. I'm not going to lie to you.
If
we have a line in the pass rush, we'll be all right.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that if we draft through the trenches and then we obviously the play calls change, we got a chance to. I'm more of a talent getting the ball. And go ahead, Max.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask the panel a quick question. If you guys are the GM of the New York Giants tomorrow, based on what you've seen this whole this season as a whole, not just the bad games or individual bad moments, because every player has a bad moment. Can you name 5 players on this team that you want to build around for the next 10 years?
That's a good question.
I could try. Andrew Thomas.
Yep.
Kadarius Toney. Azeez Ojulari, maybe. Other than that, no.
Xavier McKinney.
Yeah, McKinney. Okay, I forgot about him.
Xavier McKinney. Dexter Lawrence. I can give you 5 more. Yeah, I would. I'll keep Dexter Lawrence. Thank you. We drafted him.
And
we always getting rid of the people we drafting.
I can give you my 5.
You paid a lot of money to Leo. Leo Williams is a damn good defender.
But are you gonna build around him for the next 10 years?
I would.
You know what the Giants got to do to be a good team? It's the same shit I said last year, and we avoided it. You got to build an O-line. It all comes down to same thing, O-line.
My 5 would be Andrew Thomas, Azeez Ojulari, Kadarius Toney, Xavier McKinney, and Leonard Williams. And, oh, God.
Man, it don't matter, man. It don't matter. It really don't matter. You can have Hopkins out there. You can have Devin Cook. It won't matter, man. If you don't complete this O-line, it don't matter. And that was my point before the draft, when everybody wanted receivers.
I mean, 10 years, you think of the players like a Kyler Murray, who you know is going to be there around 10 years. 10 years, you think of the people like a Lamar Jackson. People like that. We don't have a player like that on here if you want to go for 10 years.
I mean, Andrew Thomas is the only one. And yeah, he's had a couple injuries, but his talent far surpasses like the amount of time he's missed. Unlike Saquon Barkley. Saquon Barkley, superior talent, but he's missed too much time. So for that reason, you can't build around him. Is he a good piece to have? Sure, but you can't build around a player who's not there. And Andrew Thomas, Andrew Thomas has only missed 3 games and is the whole 2 years because he didn't miss time last year. He was injured, but he didn't miss time, right? Am I incorrect in that?
I think it's 5 actually in 2 years, which isn't bad.
I think he missed 4 this year and 1 last year.
Well, he missed 4 weeks, but one of them was a bye, so I'm pretty sure he missed 3 games.
Yeah, yeah. So a total of about 4 games. I mean, you're right, Max. That's about the only guy I could think of when you say 10 years. Yeah.
I'm getting myself a Thomas jersey, man.
Thomas is the most important player.
I'm serious. Respect the O-lineman.
All right, seriously.
Get yourself a Thomas jersey.
Because DJ, I'm sorry, I don't think he's the guy. Hopefully he proves me wrong. If we could get an O-line next year and he's playing well, but as of right now, from what I've seen, that guy's pocket presence is absolutely abysmal. Like, man, you can see it.
Pat, in all fairness, in all fairness, I see that criticism a lot. But when you're everywhere from your left guard to your right tackle is getting beat, how do you maneuver that? How can you maneuver when 4 of your 5 offensive linemen are either getting beat or penalized and put you back 10 yards?
Exactly.
We watched film.
Like, you can't have good pocket presence if you can't at least count on half of your offensive line to do their job.
And I think that goes to Miz's point.
That's why you have to bring them back and put an offensive line in front of them.
Right. I that's my point. But I guess I just see a lot of the criticism of Daniel Jones doesn't know how to maneuver a pocket. But the question is, how can he? If you want him to get better at that tomorrow, how are you recommending that happens?
I truly believe if you're a quarterback with this offensive line, you have to have the skill set of like a Lamar Jackson or Deshaun Watson somehow in order to be successful with this offensive line. And he's just
Kadarius Toney's just as elusive, if not more, than Lamar Jackson with the ball in his hands, and we saw him at under center a couple times, and I mean he can't even break free of it.
Right. I mean you're right, man. This offensive line is terrible, man. It's bad, man. Those plays that you seen last night, it is bad, bro. Like from the center to the right tackle, I'm benching all those guys. I don't care if I'm bringing up 3 practice squad guys. Go out there and show me something, because these guys are bums, just straight bums, and I can't stand them. And it's messing. I think it's messing with Daniel Jones' psyche a little bit as well.
Absolutely,
we want him to overcome it, but damn, that's why I say you got to bring the guy back next year. Put a decent offensive line in front of him, and then we can get a fair evaluation. And
what other choice than Daniel Jones do we have? Mike Glennon, because he's going to be making a couple $1 million. You can't afford anybody else, and you can't use your high draft picks if you have to improve the offensive line and other positions on this team. Like, we have other free agents, right? You can't ignore edge. Lorenzo Carter's gone. O'Shane Ximines probably ain't going to make the team next year. So what? You're only going to have 2 edge rushers?
3 edge rushers.
Blake Martinez, he's probably going to be a cap casualty coming off of an ACL tear. James Bradbury could easily be cut this offseason. Can't more corner.
That's what I said, Max. I mean, people laughed at me when I said the guys I'd have gone is Nate Solder, Hernandez, Price, Sakura. Ingram's not going to be back next year.
Honestly, I'd keep Skura around, but not to be a starter.
No, because we got Lemieux coming back, my guy, and then we don't know what's going to go on with Wilson and Pert. So we got 3 guys that got a little bit of experience, and I'd rather have them over Sakura.
I mean, Skura's got experience before he came here, too. He was a starting, what was it? He played center for the Miami Dolphins, right?
No, Sakura was Ravens.
No, that was Ben Bredesen that came from the Ravens. I'm pretty sure Skura was a starting center for Miami Dolphins. And so by that means, he probably has more starting experience than Pert, Wilson, and Lemieux all together.
He still you know what? It's them 4. I'm sorry. I would want them gone, because if I'm drafting 2 offensive linemen and I'm going to get a couple more in free agency, Sakura's gone. You know, we're going to have experienced depth, if not experienced starters, before these guys are ready to play. You know, I want everybody out there. I want 9 guys on that line again, because we don't know if Gates is coming back either. If he comes back and he is able to, because he'd probably be our left guard. So then the battle's going to be for right guard, right tackle, and center. Well, if we get Linderbaum, well, guess what? Center's taken. So we still got some experienced youth that we're not paying a ton of money to.
And I hate to ruin everybody's party, but I think unless we end up with a top 3 pick this year, we're probably not getting Evan Neal either.
Well, here's the thing, okay? If the Detroit Lions beat the Bears, we're getting a top 3 pick, because the Bears ain't winning another freaking game this year.
I mean,
The Lions
they lose
can't
to the
get it done
Lions.
on
It's pretty
Thanksgiving,
damn
though.
bad, but man, it's the Lions, man. I don't see how they lose to the Lions. I really don't.
If Dan Campbell runs the ball, I can see the Lions winning that game.
I don't need to have
running the ball. Just run the ball.
I mean, there's other right
I
tackles.
told you.
There's other right
I want
tackles and
Linderbaum and
everybody.
Neal.
There's other right tackles that are very good in this draft if you don't get Neal.
Right.
Isn't
but-
there one from NC State?
And then, but then on the defense, I'm going to get rid of Martinez. I mean, Carter's gone. Zimenez is gone. Bradbury's probably gone. There's, you know what? Do you really want Benardrick McKinney back? Do you really want to start Tay Crowder again? I mean, Tom Brady smoked Tay Crowder. Come on.
Tom Brady.
Reggie Ragland. Come on, please.
Yeah, Reggie Ragland's going to be.
Oh
gone.
no! I'm in agreement of getting rid of him. I just mentioned his name as well.
Yeah.
No, I wasn't. No, I'm not keeping. No, I'm not keeping him.
What's going on?
I'm not keeping him.
Okay, reserve. I'll give you that, Big Blue. He might be. Xavier McKinney is all right, but I said Benardrick McKinney, the linebacker, Jaden.
What's going on?
What up, Ash?
I mean, if we can get somebody better.
Okay. Honey Badger, what's going on, bro? Earlier in the stream, Ash Money asked if he can have a conversation with Joe, so I'll let you guys have a conversation.
No, y'all could go. That was something else, but y'all could go. I'm about to go on my break in like a couple minutes. I just wanted to tune in, just to let y'all know I'm here. And then like at 9:35, I'm gonna start talking. If that's cool with you, Pat.
All right. Well, cancel that. So,
if you want to ask, give me a call.
Miz, I'm gonna ask you this.
I got you, Joe.
We've made one major step today by firing Jason Garrett. I know you're gonna say one of your steps is gonna be the offensive line, but what do you think the next steps the Giants need to do in order to turn this thing around? Because a lot of these fans, I'm not gonna say they're delusional, but they think everything's just gonna be okay because we fired Jason Garrett, and that's so far from the truth. If you watch football, even if you just watch football, you know that it's going to take 2 to 3 weeks for anybody to implement any type of system of their own on the offensive side. So this week coming up, I think they're going to use the same playbook, just choose different plays. That's basically what I think is going to happen. But just give me some steps that you believe that the Giants should take in order to turn things around.
I got a few things I would first of all, I agree with Max. I will keep like you guys already know. A few weeks ago, I told you the same thing. I would keep the same regime, for one more year. Minus Garrett, thank God. But I don't think. Again, I know it's crazy to say this. I don't think we're that far off. But as far as the steps right now, I would like to see Isaiah Wilson get plugged in here. Okay, because I believe he'll be on the inside and he would help the run game, which Daniel Jones needs real badly. He needs the run game. We gotta bring Barkley back to life. You gotta have Barkley and Booker. You gotta run the ball. You gotta have play action throw. That's what Daniel Jones is. And you can't be falling there. Have you noticed if this team falls down by 2 touchdowns, we're in deep shit because this O-line will not stop the Wolves from coming after Jones. You saw it last night. So you gotta hang around within 7. You just have to. And you take the next 7 games. The season's not over. I don't care how bad it looks last night. We all knew 3 weeks ago that was probably a loss. It's just the way that they lost that looks bad. But a loss is a loss and a win's a win. You got 7 games left. I don't care. The season's not over. You got to still play like you're playing for something. And when we get to the off season, you already know where I'm gonna go in the draft. I want to get I'd like either Lindenbaum. I would like Lindenbaum and a defensive end because we need a pass rusher badly.
Lou says he's backstage, Pat.
And one more thing, like Pat said last night, we're not talking about this, okay? The Giants scouting team and developing players has gotten real bad. And that's a major change we better make. or we're not going to get better.
This thing never showed up.
We need better scouting. You need better scouting, and you got to develop players. I don't know what happened to us. We're not developing our players anymore. And as far as Jones, it doesn't hurt to go one more year with Daniel Jones. It doesn't hurt to keep it all together. Gettleman, Judge, and Jones. Like I said, the next 7 games will tell a lot. Don't expect to win 6. But if they could go 500, a game up or down or 500, and you see growth in Jones and more stability as the season goes on, then you could say, okay, let's go into one more draft with the same crew. Can't make crazy decisions off of a bad game last night where you played the world champ. People ignore this. It's amazing. It's amazing that people ignore this shit. You played the world champions off a 2-game losing streak. What did you expect?
I told everybody that Tom Brady was going to be 1-on-1 in that game. And if we didn't come prepared, that's what was going to happen. You got to know that a guy like Tom Brady is not going to lose 3 games in a row. Yep. I don't think he's ever done that in his career. And so you got to know that guy was going to be on a major, major, major turn up that game. You saw it when he was playing. Anything the Giants gave him that night, he took it. Anything they gave him, he took it. And it was quick, fast, and in a hurry.
And Pat, it doesn't help that it was on national TV. Believe me, it doesn't help.
And it was against Bruce Arians that doesn't know how to let go of the gas. There's no chill with him.
Right.
Up by 21, you still want to throw the ball. But guaranteed they took Tom Brady out of the game, so he was nice about that.
We have a great fan base, but we also have a few delusional fans. Because you think because we beat Brady in 2 Super Bowls, let me tell you something. That's not this Giants team, okay? Get a clue.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago.
I think the best offseason the Giants can have is actually releasing those players that Joe said. I might want to say Bradbury. Just depends on what he does going on through the season. What's going on, G-Nation? What's up, Lou?
What up, Lou?
I don't.
Wow, look at Lou's muscles. Holy shit.
I don't believe that you can get rid of this kid, Daniel Jones, because there's nothing out there for you next year unless you're willing to give up draft capital to get a Russell Wilson or Deshaun Watson.
He's a placeholder until Arch Manning comes available, bro.
That's almost 4 years down the line. That's not,
bro. We've sucked for 10. What's 4 more?
Shit, that's a lot.
Lou said 10-7 this morning. I heard him.
I ain't spoke to nobody this morning.
Shit, I mean, man, I don't want to suck for another 4 years because you're gonna have to have the number 1 pick in order to get that kid. I promise you. When Arch Manning comes out, you're gonna have the number 1 pick to get him.
Well, we
don't need the number 1 pick. We just need to trade down in the first round, the draft prior.
Actually, fellas, I ain't been in the gym in quite a few years.
You said what?
I'm slacking right now. If I was to get back in the gym, my muscle memory, I'd be swole. Right now, I ain't been in the gym in like 7 years, bro. I used to be huge.
This is somebody.
Don't worry about the gym. You better worry how we're gonna get rid of this disease that we're.
I ain't worried about none of that shit. We got part 1 out the way. We got rid of fuckface. now we gotta get rid of Chris Mara. We got part 1 out the way. And we got a draft.
And get rid of John Mara and Steve Tisch.
You can't get rid of John Mara.
No, you can't get rid of Mara. Tisch is not the problem at all. Tisch is hardly even involved.
Tisch needs to be more involved. I think
Tisch is making Hollywood blockbusters.
I think he would fix some shit if he got more involved because Mara be doing some dumb shit, yo.
Tisch is about to get really involved because like Adam told me today. I think Adam's in here now. What's up, Adam? Like Adam said, Tisch is signing the checks and he's getting real fucking angry. I seen last year how mad he was.
Wouldn't you be? Shit, we're mad right now. We don't pay nobody for this shit.
Well, technically we do. When we buy the gear, we're giving that money to. to the Giants. So.
Oh, is that Adam in here?
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Who's that?
We all know it's a good time when Adam, Lou, and Miz are all in the same stream.
Let's go.
Who is that?
Because you know that this fan base is worried right now, man.
Who is that? Mike Nixon?
That's Max Webster, man.
Max Webster.
He got his house today.
Nice. Congratulations, man.
Congratulations.
Well,
brother.
thank you.
Yo, you know we're in a special shitty
You got that radio voice.
Max
So
came
go,
back in.
that studio.
I tell you the truth. One thing. I tell you one thing. Don't be shocked the Giants come out beat the Eagles next week. I know it's early and we don't want to talk about that right now, but I'm just throwing that out there.
Man, after that,
Just give me more than 10 points. Just give me more than 10.
After that performance last night, I'm back on my bullshit. The Giants go 3-14.
Man, it's gonna be tough for us to beat anybody with a performance like that.
That's a good one, man.
Like that performance right there, that set this franchise back. Believe it or not, that set this franchise back a little bit because the franchise had a little bit of hype going into that week. If we could beat Tampa Bay, we might be able to make a run. I kept trying to tell people that 11-6 stuff, man. I was like, okay, you set yourself up.
No,
I'm hoping we could go 9-8.
Listen, I didn't literally convince myself we was going 11-6. I was trying to will that shit into existence. I was trying to pull that shit out. I was trying to fucking manifest life and death with the tongue, like the scriptures say.
It's good to be optimistic, you know what I mean? And sometimes we're too realistic, and that gets us all depressed, right? So I have a glimmer of hope that we could possibly make the playoffs.
Well,
Makes me want to tune in on Sunday.
Did
I think we're going to crap the bed like that? No,
that was
but
the worst team left on our schedule, though.
There is zero glimmer of hopes left.
If we can somehow come out and win 7 games, we'll be 10-7. I'm back on my bullshit. 10-7, yeah.
We're gonna see what this team is really about after firing Jason Garrett and going against these Eagles.
Oh, I mean, Joel got what he wanted.
Just because Jason Garrett got fired, don't mean we're gonna come out, guns blazing and put up.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna take time for them to get their plan into motion. You're not gonna be able to do that in 5 days. You're not.
I want to, but this is it, right? I don't want to hear any more excuses if the quarterback doesn't perform.
Oh no, he got to go too.
I'm just saying, we're giving him 6 games. If he improves,
he's not our franchise quarterback.
You got 7 games out of him. 7.
You're already sold.
Can't think on the fly. He can't process shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, look, yesterday showed me everything I needed to see about this kid. As much as I was trying to give him a chance and have hope for him, he did one smart play yesterday when he almost got sacked. He flicked it off to the screen. You know what I'm saying, and got a good completion. But other than that, every time there was an opportunity there for him to get rid of the ball, he did some dumb shit.
That is the one frustrating thing I have about Daniel Jones, right? He'll do something dumb, and you're like, why are you doing it? The same situation comes up, and then he'll be like, oh, I'm not going to do it. I'm like, why didn't you do that the first time? Instead of the second time that situation comes up, you throw the ball on the ground. Like, come on, man.
I feel where you and Lou's coming from. There's some times where Galladay was wide open, Toney was wide open, touchdowns. But at the end of the day, like
Galladay
I still think we keep
we shouldn't pay fucking penny.
Facts.
You can't block.
We need it.
You get the fuck off the field. We need to erase the number 19 and give it to some third string dude because he fucking has more heart than Galladay.
I still think we gotta keep Jones for the rest of the season, not next season.
Can I ask a serious question for a second?
Go ahead, Max.
Matt Parrott came in and played left tackle because Nate Solder couldn't handle it while Andrew Thomas was injured. Andrew Thomas comes back, and Nate Solder is at right tackle, and Matt Parrott's on the bench. If Nate Solder couldn't handle left tackle and they said, you know what, maybe Matt Parrott is better, then why is he not playing right tackle over Nate Solder right now?
Because you want to see musical chairs on Monday Night Football.
But that could be Garrett too. We're gonna find out next week. That could be Garrett.
Starter hard.
The offensive coordinator doesn't have starting calls.
Offensive coordinator
Come on now.
Somebody.
You know that Garrett is a much bigger. Garrett is a much bigger personality than just an offensive coordinator. Let's get real now.
But listen, at the end of the day, I am glad that Joel's theme song was sung at Quest Life at MetLife Stadium and Quest Diagnostic Center. Joe Judge came in the locker room and told Jason Garrett, "Pack your shit, bitch. I want you on the next spot."
That was Joel's theme song, right?
Joe Judge said Joe Judge told Jason Garrett, he was like, if you can't go 15 rounds, bitch, then you need to get out of here.
I mean, they should have said that to Nate Solder. I still don't know why this man is on the field. I just don't know why.
Starter Hardy. Apparently,
he's putting on a clinic on how not to block defense.
He's letting his wife do some things to Joe Judge. That's all I'm gonna say.
I don't think Judge has any. I think Judge was handcuffed. You know that. You know that Garrett's been a head coach in this league forever, right? So when you bring Garrett in here and the owner's the one who wanted him here, he's sort of like the head coach in a way. To be honest with you.
You got one,
man. Hey Pat, you're gonna be running for a little bit, right?
Yeah, for a little bit, yeah.
All right, I got to bounce real quick. I got a couple things I got to take care of, but I will jump back into the stream.
Yo, Joe.
All right.
Joe.
He's going to take care of Jason Garrett right now.
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
The only reason Nate Solder is still
damn
here
Skippy.
He can suck Starter Hardy.
I'll be right back, guys.
Nah, man.
We don't give up on Jones too early, bro, because if he ends up somewhere else and wins, we're going to look like shit.
Miss, I get what you're saying,
I think Jones looked good under Shermer. I think under Garrett, he's looked like a fucking Pop Warner third string.
And that's the definition. That's the definition of a system quarterback.
You know, man, she's not going nowhere next year, man. Pat is right. He's not going nowhere next year.
It's not about going nowhere. It's about him being the guy or not.
Well,
and if you're going to be a pocket,
hey, yo, authentic my 11-6 went to shit.
So why can't we give him a little more time and see what's up?
We're gonna give him more time.
We're gonna give him more time, but I don't
shout
think
out to my brother in the chat. He says, "Fellas, since Garrett is gone and Gelman may be next, how about let someone know about our about our talent to bring to New York?" I mean, TJ Edwards will be a better option than Glennon.
I'd like to see offensive.
Bro, my fat ass would be better at right tackle.
I'd like to see authentic as offensive coordinator, Big Pat as GM. And I want Miz to get Chris Morris' job.
Get authentic in here. Let's see what he got to say. Get him up in here.
Yeah, I put the link in the chat if authentic wants to come in. I know he's been working all day today.
He don't want to talk to nobody after that.
No, he's always got something to say, man. Always good to hear from him.
I know he would be in on the film session on Friday, though. He would definitely be on the film session on Friday.
Look, we're rejoicing until we're not, right? If we come out and crap the bed on Sunday, we're all gonna be like, fire Freddie Kitchens, you know what I mean? So we gotta just see
right
improvement.
Watch,
yeah, I'm just saying. Well, that we got short memories. We watched the game. They crap the bed. We're like, screw this, fire everyone, get them out of here, right? And, you know, if they win, we're gonna be like, playoffs. I'm on that bullshit. You know
the Giants are the most bipolar team in the league. Where we'll come out this Sunday, the offense will get together, and we'll do something against the Eagles. And we're like, you know what? Give this offense give Daniel Jones another year. I'm not falling into that trap. I'm trying to tell you, I'm not falling into that trap.
He's going to probably get another year.
He's going to get another year. He's going to get another contract.
Yeah. He's going to get another year. Yeah. He's going to get another year. But if you ask me, it's not going to change nothing. It's not going to change my stance on him.
Well, what happens
it's not going to change nothing.
Wait, what about Ryan Tannehill?
The guy in O-line.
What's up, fellas?
Shout out to Perry. He has some talent he can bring over to the team.
Listen, talent or no talent, if you cannot manipulate talent or no talent, if you cannot manipulate the pocket and you have no pocket presence, you're not a good quarterback, bro. You're not a good quarterback.
What pocket? I didn't see a pocket last night, bro. Did you see a pocket? I didn't see.
You're talking about last night. You're talking about last night. I'm talking about the whole season. I'm talking about 3 years. You're talking about last night. I'm talking about 3 years. He doesn't have the ability.
3 years that we haven't had an O-line, bro. Let's get real now.
Come on. There's been times where Daniel Jones has had a good pocket and he absolutely folds. Let's keep it a buck.
No. You wanted to draft
let's
Toney
do
instead
this.
of a real lineman, so whatever.
Let's do this. Me and Authentic has some of the same views about Daniel Jones' rookie season and about Daniel Jones in general. I'm not saying you get rid of Daniel Jones after this year because he's still on his rookie contract and we still don't really know who he is. I say you put an offensive line in front of him and let this kid show you who he is next year because we really don't have the money to bring in a big franchise quarterback and still get the pieces that we need in order for this offense to succeed. But what I want y'all to do, to listen to Authentic real quick. Thank you for popping in again tonight, man.
All day, bro. You know what it is.
I want you to just evaluate Daniel Jones' rookie season for these guys. Let them hear another opinion other than mine about Daniel Jones' rookie season. Because it seems like a lot of fans always want to harp on the 24 touchdowns. I want you to just evaluate that rookie season and break it down how you do so people can hear.
I actually got this note over there I should pull up, but this is the thing. So Daniel Jones' rookie season, there's 3 games that stand out. One of them's against the Jets, one of them's against Washington football team, and one of them's against the Detroit Lions. All 3 of them are awful teams in 2019. They're still bad teams to this day. Okay, he had 5 touchdowns against the Washington football team, no interceptions. We scored over 25 points. With the Jets, I think he had 3 touchdowns in that game. We scored over 25 points. And against the Lions, he scored, I want to say, I think that one was either 4. I think it was 4 touchdowns in that one too. But in them 3 games, in his total, I'm kind of winging it right now, he had 13 touchdowns in those 3 games. Those are the only games that stand out really in Daniel Jones' like whole career, to be honest, and maybe the debut against the Bucs. Outside of that, Daniel Jones has just been an average quarterback. He's never put together back-to-back-to-back games where you be like, that guy, that's what we should expect from him. You get this up-and-down play from Daniel Jones, and granted, a lot of that got to do with the team around him, I understand it. But everybody knows in 2018, Eli Manning was washed, right? Eli Manning was done. And I was still rooting for Eli Manning in 2018.
Facts, me too.
With the Pat Shurmur system, Eli Manning put up 21 touchdowns in the Pat Shurmur system, 11 interceptions, 4,200 yards. Daniel Jones has never sniffed 4,000 yards, one, because he can't stay healthy. A lot of people want to think that Daniel Jones is a mobile quarterback. Last night showed you that Daniel Jones is not a mobile quarterback. I didn't get to hear a lot of y'all stream, but I did hear Ash Money when I first came in saying that Daniel Jones doesn't know how to manipulate the pocket. And you looking last night at a quarterback who does it the best, who's not mobile at all, but Tom Brady does it the best. He didn't get touched last night in that game. He got touched one time. He didn't get sacked once on the day. There was no pressure on him. And as soon as they put that backup quarterback in and Blaine Gabbert, he got sacked because he don't got the same kind of feet and the mind to tell the body what to do quickly. Daniel Jones looks like a lost kid out there. You look at the screen that he threw the interception on, you look like, who is he throwing the ball to? It's straight panic mode. 2019 season from Daniel Jones is overrated. And a lot of it has to do with teams not having tape on him. That's why, yeah, it probably looks like the best year that he might have had. I don't even know if we can call it the best year because the turnovers were just so ridiculous. No coach can win games like that. And I forget how many games he won that rookie season. I think it was 3 games he might have won that rookie season. 4 games. Was it 2?
2?
Because I remember he didn't play the whole season.
Eli won one of those games we won last.
Okay, so he won 3.
So he won 3 games, because Eli.
Can I make just one statement on this?
For sure.
So Daniel Jones specifically might not have balled out that year, but I think the biggest difference between 2019 and that people are hyping up that year versus how we're playing right now has less to do with Daniel Jones. I mean, in 2019, Daniel Jones had what would we probably consider an average rookie first year. But we were 57% in the red zone. Yeah. 57%. That's nearly 60% of our trips in the red zone we scored. You know where we're sitting this year?
44.
44.
And it's dead last in the league. I challenge you to see where we were ranked when he was pushing 60. When you think about red zone opportunities, that's not that massive of a jump. The 49ers right now lead the NFL in red zone efficiency right now. They're scoring on 85% of their red zone trips. Touchdowns we're talking about, not field goals here. We're talking about touchdowns. That's not a drastic jump. You know, just look at Daniel Jones' numbers in all 3 years. They look very similar. Completion percentage, very similar. Yards, very similar. The only difference in the 2019 season was the touchdowns. That's literally it. And this year, I forget what he's at. What is he at? 8 touchdowns passing, 2 touchdowns running. So he's sitting at around 10 touchdowns.
Yeah, you got 9 passing.
I mean, I've been preaching this for 4 weeks, and y'all know if you tune into Authentic and the Beard, last year I was all over Daniel Jones. Like, yo, I think this guy has the skill set to do it. But the one thing that I was doing as a fan that I really wasn't looking at is exactly what Ash Money brought up right when I pulled up. It's not just the pocket presence and not just the pocket awareness, but it's about how elusive you are. Man, there's a play that's going around right now on Twitter that people are breaking down about Daniel Jones and Jason Garrett. They're like, look at this route concept because they see the 3 wide receivers in the one section. I don't know if y'all have seen this play going around.
Yeah,
right?
Galladay was open. Yeah. Galladay was open.
Yeah, Galladay's wide open, and all you got to do. I don't want to say all you got to do. You got to make a perfect throw, and you got to get the ball out quick. It is the Eli Manning to Manningham throw. Okay, now the mesh concept is not supposed to be ran against zone defense. I was playing in a co-ed league 2 years ago. We sat there for like 3 weeks teaching all the girls how to run the mesh concept, because what the mesh concept does in a man system, you're running 2 wide receivers across each other in the exact same location so that their defenders can rub and slow them down. And then eventually when they clear that man coverage, somebody's going to be open. Daniel Jones sees 8 men in the box. He doesn't even notice that the Bucs are disguising it as a zone defense. They only rushed 3 pass rushers on that play.
I think that's the bigger point on that play, though, because if you watch the offensive line on that play, you have Andrew Thomas and Matt Skura doubling JPP, and Billy Price looking to his left to try to put 3 people on JPP rather than doubling Sue with his right guard.
Yeah, but the point that I think you might be missing out of the whole thing is that at the end of the day, they only rushed 3. 2 of our linemen look like straight up bozos and don't know what they're doing. They're lost on the play, right? But as a quarterback, when you have matchups like that where you have 3 offensive linemen going up against your 3 offensive linemen now at this point because 2 of them are completely ruled out of the play. Look at it. Ndamukong Suh has inside leverage. All Daniel Jones got to do is take a step to the right and step up. He don't got that kind of awareness. And this is why I brought up Tom Brady. Tom Brady got that kind of awareness. Y'all remember that play? I want to say it was like week 2, week 3 with Tom Brady. And it was after Daniel Jones had fumbled against the Denver Broncos. And Tom Brady had backside pressure and somebody hit his arm. And Tom Brady ain't even look at it. His arm got hit. He just held onto the ball like it was nothing because he's got the kind of presence where he knew that defender couldn't knock the ball out of his hand. Daniel Jones don't got that. And this ain't no rookie. This is 3 years in. You should know the speed of the game. You should have the presence in the pocket to be able to make decisions quickly, which is why I would take a quarterback like Jalen Hurts right now over a guy like Daniel Jones in a heartbeat, because Jalen Hurts can recognize the pressure quickly, make a quick juke, and get out of trouble. Exactly. Taylor Heineke can even do that. Taylor Heineke has done that against the Bucs in every game. He notices when the pocket is breaking down very quickly and gets the hell out of Dodge. Daniel Jones, he don't know how to do that, so he's taking sacks. This is 2 games, and I'll leave it right here on this point. I don't want to wrap y'all up too much, right? But, this is the 2nd game that Daniel Jones has ended the last drive where he has the ball by taking 2 sacks. Come on, bro. You can't do that in the NFL.
Well, he holds the ball on really long. I think he tries to make a play, and that's his problem. Is he stands back there, and he doesn't have the elusiveness, like you said, to make plays. So what he's doing is he's trying to wait for somebody to get open. Unfortunately, his offensive line is not that good, so that leaves him vulnerable to fumbles and other bad plays.
A decisive quarterback is the best offensive lineman you can ever have. Is a decisive quarterback.
I agree.
You know what he does that kills me, and it's so annoying? Daniel Jones will sit there in that pocket and back up and keep bagging up and keep bagging up and give the defensive end a straight line to him and keep bagging up. He does not have any move to the left. It's like he's playing Madden.
Yeah.
If you're playing a bad person in Madden and they just keep bagging up and they don't try to move around anything and they're taking them 20-yard sacks.
He don't press the trigger button at all.
Yeah. And you know what else he can't do, Big Pat? He don't know how to flip the hips.
Nope.
When you I know exactly what play you're talking about where he was backpedaling. It was a 3rd and 5 late in the game. And we're just like, what are you doing? He's literally just backpedaling like this with the ball right here, just patting. I played quarterback on a very low level in high school, okay? When you roll to your left, you got to flip them hips, man. It's the whole Dak Prescott, Eli Manning thing. You got to flip those hips so when you're running to your left, your body's already in position to make the throws down the field. It's basic stuff. And people think just because he was coached by Cutcliffe and Cutcliffe coached Eli Manning and Peyton Manning that he should be Eli and Peyton Manning. I always tell people, bro, like, that's a gene thing why Eli Manning is able to read pressure the way he is. Same thing with Peyton Manning. Their daddy was in the NFL. He was a good quarterback, too, on a bad team. But he knew how to get out of pressure.
And the thing about it is, the thing that, and this is why I'm not on board with this dude. And it doesn't matter if we keep him, but I'm trying to tell y'all, this is not the dude. I don't care if he has the perfect O-line in the world. If you get pressure in his face, he folds. Yep. These defensive linemen and these linebackers, they are running 4.4s, 4.35s. Pat, Miz, Joel's not in here. Adam, Lou, Authentic. Back in your day, when you're my age, you're 19 years old, and you watching a combine, and you see a linebacker run a 4.4. What's your reaction?
Shit. Well, back in my day, that would be unheard of.
Shit.
Man.
So that's what I'm saying.
I still didn't even believe it in this day and age. When my boy was telling me that Montez Sweat ran a 4.4, I was like, nah, ain't no way.
Exactly. So this is, and D lineman like Myles Garrett, Montez Sweat, they're running 4.4s. So this is not this is not 2000, like the early 2000s when you give a quarterback three.
Yep.
This is not the 2004 or 5 where you give a quarterback 3-4 years. Like the NFL was changing. So if you don't have pocket manipulation, if you don't have pocket awareness, these dudes are going to eat you alive. So that's my thing. I don't think he's the guy because after all these years, he's making the same mistakes. We could have Rashawn Slater out there, or we could have like my thought was taking an offensive lineman in the 3rd round. The ideal situation for me is having Andrew Thomas at left tackle, drafting an interior offensive line, and having Matt Pert at right tackle. And to be honest, I think if everybody's healthy, we don't even think about Rashawn Slater. We don't even think about Rashawn Slater if we do that. But you could have Rashawn Slater, you could have Quentin Nelson. And the thing about Matt Pert is, like, I see offensive linemen when Quentin Nelson, when the coach left tackle or right tackle, when they got hurt, Quentin Nelson plays right tackle. It's either you can block or you can't, bro. No matter if it's left tackle or right tackle. If you can't block, I'm sorry, you're not that guy. You're not that guy, pal. You're just not that guy.
Yeah, he's definitely not the guy right now. That's 100. He's not the guy because he can't uplift the players around him and make them better. Daniel, he's null. He's average. He's just null. He's out
I'm
there.
gonna argue the other side.
What is the next move then? Where would you go?
Wait. I'm gonna argue the other side.
Yeah.
Because when the Giants drafted Daniel Jones, you knew what you were getting. You were getting a pocket passing quarterback, old school, because they wanted someone that was somewhat like Eli. Now you're supposed, for a guy like this, you guys are saying that he can't get away from people, he can't do this. When a guy like this to succeed, you were supposed to put a good line in front of him and a running game because he's a play action quarterback. That's what he is. He is not Hurts or Jackson. He's a pocket passing, tall, big arm, play action quarterback. And because we haven't built the line, we can't sustain a good enough running game to even run the play action. And that's a big part of it. You set the guy up to fail. Let's be honest.
Now, the Giants definitely did set the guy up to fail, but they also drafted the wrong guy. Here's the thing that I think gets overlooked about pocket passers, okay? When we think about pocket passers, what we think is most fans, right? And I'm guilty of this too. Just as of recent as last year, we think of a guy who's supposed to sit behind an offensive line similar to what like Tony Romo was doing in Dallas behind one of the best offensive lines I can remember. He was literally sitting behind a brick wall, okay? We think about pocket passers like that. But when we think about pocket passers, how we really should think about them is we should think about them like guys like Alex Smith or guys like Rich Gannon. I know you're familiar with Rich Gannon, Miz, where Rich Gannon was the kind of quarterback that he could sidestep the small, minuscule foot movements that happen within the pocket to buy yourself more time and read the leverage that your linemen have without having to look right at them. And that's where Daniel Jones really has a problem. He doesn't see the leverage. That play that I was talking about where there's 3 people rushing, all he has to do is recognize inside pressure from Ndamukong Suh, and he can step out of it. Instead, he panics and just throws the ball into the dirt. Now, some of the times he is holding the ball too long. Like you look at the screenplay that he threw. You're supposed to have pressure when you do a screenplay in the NFL. That's the whole thing. You're allowing them to just run by your linemen, making them think, oh, we got a chance to get a sack on a quarterback, and then you just dump it over their head. But Daniel Jones can't even do those kind of simple quarterback reads that you, on a college level, you should be doing those well. And then let's not get started about how another thing that gets in the way of his pocket presence is that he's not a fast reader of the football field. So when he sees his first read is not there, he can't make the quick decision to go bang and go right to the second read. I'm telling you, go back, look at the Mario Manningham catch in the Super Bowl from Eli Manning, right? And look at the other routes that were ran on that play. There's a quick little stick route that happens, and there's like some kind of a short, either a skinny post from the outside wide receiver on the opposite side. 2 wide receivers are literally bunched up in the same exact place, the same way that Daniel Jones had that situation with the mesh route happening just on Monday. And Eli Manning recognized it. Granted, he had a little bit more time to make the throw, but he recognized that thing in a split second, and he put that ball into a window that is so tight that's what great quarterbacks do. We're not looking at a great quarterback, and I don't want to sit here and act like I'm just, taking a dump on Daniel Jones. But at the end of the day, we can't act like this guy is like really good, because he's not really good. He's he's an average quarterback. I've been comparing him for the last 2 weeks to Jared Goff. 2 weeks ago when I first made the comparison, people were like, bro, you crazy. Daniel Jones way better than Jared Goff. This week, after seeing that game against Tampa Bay, I said it again, and I said it on my chat today again. I said, y'all, rate Daniel Jones from 1 to 10, and then rate Jared Goff from 1 to 10. They're both a 6. They're the same quarterback. The only quarterback who is close to Daniel Jones as far as turnovers go since Daniel Jones has came into the league is Jared Goff. Daniel Jones got 47 turnovers since he's been in the league, and Jared Goff got 46.
But here's the thing too, like I totally understand your point, Authentic, and I get what you guys are saying, Adam and Ash. But I'm at the point too, it's like Daniel Jones has a lot of things to work on, definitely. But the thing is, he was just faced with so much adversity from the jump. Obviously, getting drafted, getting booed by a fan base, then the switching of offensive coordinators, the switching of head coaches. Then in his first season, depending on the 5th round receiver in Slayton, then depending on a tight end that can't catch the football, then having a bad offensive line for 3 years now. This team drafted a quarterback without a team around, without a supporting cast. They got rid of Eli without the supporting cast. They put this kid, threw him out there in the fire in week 2 against Tampa Bay. Just why not let him sit the whole season and learn behind Eli?
They had to save jobs. That's why they did that.
That's true. I understand that there's been a lot of scapegoats over the years, and I get that. But the thing is, I get what you guys are saying, but I just think like looking at week for week, this is not directed at anybody on stream. Just pointing this out right now. Week for week, us as a Giants community, it's like 1 week Daniel Jones is on top of the world and he's our franchise quarterback because he goes off. Then he loses his rip-ins and then he goes against a really tough defense. And then the next week it's like, we don't want nothing to do with this kid. But I'm in the situation whereas let's keep him around because we really have no other options, right? And hopefully his mental is already MF'd. He's mind F just based on the fact that Ash, if you was a quarterback and you was to get touched, I'm not saying sacked, I'm saying touched. Every single play, you're getting touched. You have these 350 guys rushing you on every single play. You're getting, you're touched. They're touching you. Then you have receivers that you give the ball to them, and 25% of the time they're dropping the ball. Your mind is already effed up. You know what I'm saying?
I agree.
Can I respond?
Hold on. One second.
Oh, go ahead.
I agree with everything you just said, but none of that factors into how fast he goes through his progressions, how fast he can process what's going on the field. his footwork and pocket presence, knowing when to move up, when to shift to his right or his left, how to keep the safety stuck so that you can make it to the play that you really want to throw it to. He gives
was the
away his
backside
play with his
go.
eyes. He doesn't move well in the pocket, and he can't process what's going on. None of that has to do with everything that you just said, because everything
that
that you
have-
just said, I agree with. They set him up to
I feel
fail.
you.
He was dependent on Slayton and Ingram, who dropped more balls than I don't know what. But at the end of the day, none of that has to do with what we were just talking about.
I'm not saying we broke Daniel Jones if it kind of comes off that way, but don't you think that the mental has a lot to do with that too? Like he just doesn't believe.
This is the NFL. You're the
Why they
quarterback.
drafted
You're the
him. That's-
captain of this team. You're the leader.
That's
You're
true.
paid to be the mental leader of this team. Eli dealt with being called a bum. He lost it. He don't got it. He makes the dumb face.
It's every quarterback. Every quarterback has
He
to
has
deal
the
with that.
dumbest look in the world.
And
He
they're
looks
paying him
lost, this and
$25
that.
million to deal with that.
Right.
What are we talking about here, man? This isn't like high school football where it's like, he got booed at a high school game. This dude has gone through all the levels of football. He's the starting quarterback for the New York Football Giants, bro. He should be getting booed. He should have pressure. He should be able to overcome adversity. We're looking for quarterbacks in the league that do that. Why do you think the quarterback position is so rare just to begin with in the NFL in general? You look at the elite talent at quarterback position right now, there's maybe 8 guys in the whole NFL that are elite.
You are the mental leader
I guess
of that
what
team.
we're
You're supposed to
left
believe these
with.
guys,
But would you
and
guys
get them
think
to
it's-
believe that you can drive down the field and score at any given moment in any game?
I promise you,
That's
every
what you're the
drive,
guy
I'm
that
like,
If it continues down this, sorry, Logan. If it continues down this route, I'm all for getting rid of this kid. If he's been in the league for 3 years and obviously there's no step forward, which I totally understand where you guys are coming from.
You look
But
at
what do
Jalen
you
Hurst.
think? What do you think? Adam and Ash, and I guess Authentic too. What do you guys think? It's smart to just keep him around just for 1 more year, just based on the quarterbacks coming out and the free agents and our money cap situation.
Can
Just giving
I
this kid
respond
another
to
chance?
that real quick?
Yeah,
Can I
go ahead,
respond
Ash.
to
Go
that
ahead.
real quick? Because I'm going to be silent for a bit because I'm about to clock in. But the thing about the Daniel Jones, I guess, facing adversity, right? I get that he hasn't had the ideal situations, but I've seen quarterbacks that have come into this league from literally nothing, literally places that Daniel Jones is more privileged enough to be, right? He's being coached from Cutcliffe, right? He's not Deshaun Watson, but Deshaun Watson, first of all, got drafted in Houston, has a racist as an owner. He had to find out that his number 1 receiver was traded in the offseason on social media. He had a bottom half of the league offensive line, and he led the league in passing yards the year after, throwing to Brandon Cooks, David Johnson. And I'm not calling those boys bums because they're in the NFL for a reason, but they're not what they were. Let's be real. David Johnson's not what they were. He had Will Fuller. Will Fuller's been a bust, bro.
Yeah, and Will Fuller couldn't stay on the field a lot of the time, too. He had
Exactly.
suspension and the injuries.
So this dude led the league. You're talking about against players like Tom Brady, players like Josh Allen, players like Patrick Mahomes, led the league on the Texans with a 4-12 record. In this league, it's either you have it or you don't. Look around the league right now. And I want you to look at the stereotypical quarterbacks that are in the league right now.
But Ash, you brought up Deshaun Watson. That's why Deshaun Watson's special. That's why Lamar Jackson is special. That's special players you're talking about. So you're saying that the defense that Ray Lewis took the Baltimore Ravens to the Super Bowl, that Joe Flacco was an elite quarterback.
No,
Joe Flacco had that
Joe
thing,
Flacco
though. He
beat
could
Tom
win.
That's
Brady.
what I'm saying.
Joe
Flacco beat.
I would take that Joe Flacco over this Daniel Jones right now.
All day, bro. Wouldn't even be close. It wouldn't even be
Lou,
close.
you say you got to go, Lou?
Yeah, I gotta go, man. The baby just woke up. But good night to all of y'all, man. Keep
Man, have a
making
good
great
night,
content.
Lou.
I fucks with all of
All right,
y'all.
Big Lou.
And hopefully things get better for us because we ain't going 11-6, motherfucker.
But let me finish my point, right? Look around the league. Look at these teams that the NFL has changed in the stereotypical quarterback. The build of the stereotypical quarterback has changed. That's why a lot of people didn't really like Daniel Jones from the get-go. One, because first of all, we set this franchise back, right? With years before, it was a wrong time. The team was just a dumpster fire. Two, he just wasn't the guy. Like, and that has to do with ownership a lot, because Ben McAdoo tried to get that stereotypical guy. He tried to trade up for Patrick Mahomes and Deshaun Watson.
The evolution of the quarterback has changed.
Yeah. So look around the league. Look at the top teams. Go by division. AFC South. Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow. Players that could manipulate the pocket.
He's not in the South.
Look at the AFC West. Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, even Derek Carr. Look at the AFC East. Josh Allen. Mac Jones isn't the typical. He isn't what the quarterbacks is now, but he's in the right system. The play calling is fit around him. Josh McDaniels knows
with great running backs.
What to do with him. Look at the AFC South, right? Ryan Tannehill fits that offense perfectly, right? If you put Daniel Jones, and I'm gonna be real, you put Daniel Jones on the Titans offense, I don't think they really take that much of a step back. I think they take a little step back because I feel like Ryan Tannehill does some more things.
They take a major step back. They take a major step back. Ryan Tannehill was a top 5, top 6 quarterback last year. His statistics.
Look, I'm gonna be real with you, Ash. You know, a quarterbacks I would take over Daniel Jones right now.
Tyrod Taylor.
I would take Tyrod Taylor. I would take Marcus Mariota. I would take Marcus Mariota over Daniel Jones right now. You know why? Because that kid can actually play.
Look in our own division, bro. Look at Jalen Hurts and Taylor Heineke.
I would take any one of those.
The moment they sense pressure, them boys are gone. They are gone.
They're quick
also have matured in their time playing.
They don't care about what's down the field. They don't care whether receiver is open. The moment they sense pressure, they are gone. Like, this is just some stuff. This is just some stuff that we got to think about, right? And I get it. You know, when we lose a game or when we're coming out of a week, our reaction to the game first is going to be an angry reaction, right? Because we're humans. We're emotional when stuff doesn't go our way. And then we get into the next couple of days, we start to think like Giants fans. We start to think like, you know, well, when we overthink to some of the things. Well, this maybe if this thing doesn't go wrong, maybe if this stuff doesn't go wrong, Daniel Jones could probably do this. Like, we got to cut that out. We got to look at it for what it is. I'm trying to tell you, because I'm trying to tell y'all, bro, we fell into this trap before. We could go out there, we could spend 2 picks, Evan Neal and Linderbaum. We could get them. I bet you Daniel Jones will still cost us games or somewhere. I'm trying to tell you.
I'm with you.
I totally understand your points, but the thing is, like, what's our options? Like, what do we do? Because
there's plenty of I hear people saying we don't got options. The Giants got so much draft stock right now. If we wanted damn near any quarterback, we could trade picks and go get them. Right. We don't have to draft a quarterback. And I don't like the rumor that's going around all of YouTube right now that there's no quarterbacks coming out of this draft. I mean, there's still some football to be played left, and you just got to find the right guy for your system. You know, I don't watch a ton of college football, but when I watch Malik Willis, he looks like he'd be better in this offense than Daniel Jones. Daniel Jones right now is a bottom tier quarterback in the NFL.
Daniel Jones can't improvise.
I call that the hype machine.
And honestly, I don't think you need to have a quarterback who can necessarily improvise if he can make quick decisions within the pocket. But Daniel Jones, you ever seen a dude that like a dance that like
can't dance?
He can't dance, right? It don't matter. Hard, though. And look, I'm talking about I'm a dude right here. You ain't never gonna catch me dancing nowhere. Okay, I don't dance, right? And you could try to teach me how to dance salsa for 5 years. I'm not going to be able to dance salsa. And when you see Daniel Jones out there on the field, he looks like they trying to make him do things that he's not comfortable doing. The only possible way that this works with Daniel Jones is if you can find a brick wall offensive line. You know how long it's going to take to try to build that?
Well, that's what you need, that is to move around, right? Like you're saying. He doesn't have that ability to just move. That's all we're asking. We're not asking for a lot. We're not asking to change the whole damn system. We're asking him to just see the rush better, field
It's not
going
going
to
to happen. It's not going to
I'm
happen.
not to be a Lamar
I'm not saying it's
Jackson
going to
or
happen. I'm just
Deshaun
saying.
Watson.
Yeah,
You
but
know,
here's what I'm saying.
move
Like
to left
I
or right.
point
I
about the quarterback.
absolutely 100% like not okay. I have 90% agree with you guys. The other 10% what I'm having a hard time putting my head around is like because I seen the same things you're talking about. Ash Money brought up core. I seen the same things out of core, and then I seen there's some games where Daniel Jones does move around in the pocket and is comfortable and does get the ball out there and does have good games. So I just still feel that.
Yeah, but it's not consistent.
He's
it's like
consistent
one
at being
game here and
inconsistent.
there. Derek Carr is a much better quarterback than Daniel Jones.
Oh yeah, I'm not going to sit there and tell you that, but
Look. Let me bust down these numbers for you because I'm on the Derek Carr. Derek Carr has not been playing great football lately, but I've been on Derek Carr.
He's a good.
Let me break down these numbers for you since 2018.
I would have taken him.
He's got 3 straight seasons of 4,000 yards. He had 21 touchdowns and 8 interceptions in 2019. He had 27 touchdowns and 9 interceptions in 2020. This year, he's already at 3,041 yards. He's already sitting at almost 1,000 more yards than Daniel Jones. He's at a 67.9 completion percentage with 16 touchdowns and 9 interceptions. His quarterback rating from 2019 to 2020 was over 100. And here we are begging Daniel Jones to get over 90. If you were at a 90 passer rating right now in the NFL, you would be ranked the 25th quarterback in the NFL.
That's a
what are we talking about?
My problem with Daniel Jones is he'll take 1 step forward and then 5 steps back.
Facts.
He always does it.
I'm just frustrated that everything has to be perfect for him to succeed.
Hey Adam, that's the biggest problem. Because like fans feel like we got him the weapons at wide receiver. Now it's like, oh, it's the O-line. It's Jason Garrett. Now they fired Jason Garrett. What are people going to do when he continuously does not ball out?
The problem with Daniel Jones is...
what is it going to take to get people to just go, he ain't the guy? For everyone who's still... there's people that woke up today and said, it ain't Daniel Jones' fault. What?
The thing
Did you see that game last night?
That's my frustration. He's got to have perfection everywhere. And if anything breaks down,
you
can't
you could be Colt McCoy, Adam. You saw now Colt McCoy over there working with one of the best offenses in the NFC for show right now with Kyler Murray out the lineup. That man putting up 300 yards and touchdowns and you saw the runs he was doing, third down conversions. Colt McCoy was doing everything out there with weapons. Exactly. So if you're telling me that we got to extend Daniel Jones when this 5th year is done or whatever, we're going to have to pay him, first of all. He's not going to take no Colt McCoy money. He's going to want real deal money. Right now, Daniel Jones is making 4 times the amount of money as Jalen Hurts, and Jalen Hurts is playing 4 times better than Daniel Jones.
And that also frustrates me because that kid has not played as many games and already looks like he's already catching on to the NFL game. And I look at our quarterback, and he's 3 years in, and he's still doing the same things he did when he was a rookie. And I'm like, how is this guy who plays for the Eagles, played less games, already kind of getting his feet wet and making plays, and my quarterback is stuck in the mud?
And Taylor Heineke about to be right there. Giants fans better hope Taylor Heineke don't string together a couple good games because then people are going to be saying Taylor Heineke's a better quarterback than Daniel Jones. Because right now it's looking like it. You look at the 3rd down conversion that he made in that game last week to win them the game against the Panthers. Right. He's going out there in a battle with Cam Newton right now where Cam Newton played excellent football, made some great throws. And here we are as New York Giants fans saying, don't bring in Cam Newton over here to challenge Daniel Jones. Man, I'll take Cam Newton in a heartbeat right now.
Right now?
I want Tyrod Taylor this offseason.
My point, that's another thing, too, is we need to light a fire under this kid's ass that if he's going to fail, his ass is going to the bench. Because
he failed, bro. It's over for me.
Right, but what I'm saying is right now we don't have anybody better to bring in. We can't. I'm not watching Mike Glenn in the last 6 games. So my point
I think that's why they fired Jason Garrett, to just see if they bring in a different play caller, will it actually make Daniel Jones play better football so they can feel more confident about him going into next season? Because after next season, you got to pay that man the money. Right. Any logical Giants fan is not paying Daniel Jones that money right now.
Franchise tag is going to be over $30 million. Even if you franchise him, it's going to be over $30 million.
Yeah,
and then you got people like Kirk Cousins in Minnesota, people being like, oh, we might need to get us a new quarterback. We know Giants fans would take Kirk Cousins in a second.
And I think a lot of people are forgetting the fact that Daniel Jones is not Joe Judge's God. Like, he's not his quarterback.
Yeah.
Joe Judge did not pick him. So if Joe Judge is going to mail, right, and he's like, you know what? If the Giants, like I always said, Giants lose 5 out of the next 7 games. Joe Judge goes to John Maris, like, you know what? I know I ain't doing good here, but let me get my quarterback. Let me draft that guy from Liberty. I'm not gonna be surprised. I am not gonna be surprised. And a lot of people, you know what I see? The QB room.
One DJ bad game. He's the worst QB in the league.
So the Rams game wasn't a bad game, Pat.
Yeah.
the Rams. Do y'all know what his? The Broncos game, and you notice all the wins come against pass defenses that aren't that great, except the Carolina Panthers. I will say their pass defense was pretty good. But they were dealing with a lot of turmoil over there. But Daniel Jones cannot win over the good teams.
Opposite ends of the spectrum.
And I
want to do that. Oh my God, I'm an icicle now.
What the hell?
What's going on?
You know what I do?
Wait, real fast. Let me just say something real fast. So Authentic brought up earlier. He said, if you woke up this morning, what did you say about waking up this morning and about Daniel Jones?
There were people who actually woke up this morning still trying to cop for Daniel Jones, acting like he played a good game yesterday.
Okay, absolutely not. Daniel Jones did not play a good game. But what I don't like is you guys are not doing it. I'm just saying what I don't like is like, how does Daniel Jones, like for the people that's blaming it all on Daniel Jones, like how is that only his fault when Tom Brady was carving up this defense?
Well, yeah,
You know
I
what I'm
mean,
saying?
people know the defense was getting carved up, but let me ask you this: if somebody would have told you before Monday night, are you willing to take the Giants down 17-10 at the half against the defending Super Bowl champions? Would you have been like, nah, I don't want that. I would rather play it out and see what happens? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because 17-10 is like we in the game, and then our bonehead coach decides to go for it on 4th and 2 when it could have been 17-13 at the half. So that bend don't break defense was actually doing a pretty decent job of keeping us in the game.
Yeah.
Right.
When I ask you the question, do you have faith in this team scoring points in the red zone with Daniel Jones as your quarterback?
Hell
do you
no.
go when we get in the red zone with Daniel Jones? Do you say, "Hey, man, I know Daniel
this
Jones
team
can
is just
make a
effed
play
up
right
in the
here"?
red zone?
I'm gonna be honest. You want to know what goes through my head when we're in the red zone? DJ, please don't fumble. Don't throw an interception.
Don't take a sack.
I
Don't
understand.
knock it out of range.
That's what I mean by
Somebody not jump off sides. Don't get a holding penalty, guys. The team is trash. Let's not get it twisted. The team. We're not saying, oh man, 100% Daniel Jones is garbage. But with a team like this, you need somebody that's going to go above and beyond. You need somebody to be able to react.
50-yard line and then turn around. They get to the 50 and say, we made too much progress. Let's regress now. And our best player is Graham Gano. That's terrible.
Listen, man.
It's
not Daniel Jones.
I clocked out,
not
man.
Daniel
I clocked
Jones
out,
in the
bro.
red zone, man. The reason why we don't score in the red zone is that we can't line up and run the ball over nobody. Anybody.
Facts.
Okay, and when you get in the red zone, if you can't impose your physical running game on a team, you're not gonna have no play action throw because they don't respect your run.
And Miz, that's the whole organization. This is why I brought up the Patriots a little bit earlier, right? They got 4 running backs over there. The Giants are one of the only teams that operate with 2 running backs and a fullback as the backup, and the main running back is coming off the biggest injury of his career.
Right.
They didn't address the running back situation, so that comes from up top. But we've been doing that all year. I talked about this on my podcast earlier. When Blake Martinez went out, they wait like 2 weeks before they go sign a linebacker. Saquon Barkley's coming back off a big injury. Yeah, they signed Devontae Booker, but then they didn't address more running backs because what if Booker doesn't work? Then what's the backup?
Gary Brightwell.
Eli Penny? That's not going to work out.
Gary
And then we're
Brightwell
just
hasn't
double
taken a
dipping.
snap.
We're double dipping on talent in the same areas. Like you getting guys, you drafting Kadarius Toney, which I love that signing, right? But if you're going to do that, you might want to try to deal a guy like Sterling Shepard. You know, Darius Slayton out there, him and Galladay kind of play the same kind of role, and you could add Colin Johnson to that too. They all the same kind of wide receiver. That all goes back to Dave Gettleman. Waiting all long to address the offensive line. That's why we can't run the ball.
Do you guys think Daniel Jones can read defenses? Because I don't see many audibles off the line.
I know for a fact Daniel Jones can read defense because I just did a film breakdown. He did it in his rookie season. Me and Joel saw him literally audibling, breaking down the defense. We saw he could do it. We just don't know what happened.
I mean, that's what the cadences are for. When you see Daniel Jones go to the line, look around, and then call out a different. He's switching the play. He's switching things up. He's switching protection. He knows how to do that, but it's how good are you at that? And then also you look at when he checks down to the running back, he's always late.
It's late. Always late.
If Daniel Jones missed
killed
Dion Lewis,
he's half the problem. If you ask me, he's half the problem. He's half it because a quarterback, go look at the third down. They called it the ankle collector play from Jalen Hurts on third down, right? Because the Saints got back in that game. Let's not forget, and this is why people got to stop talking that garbage time numbers like it don't matter. The Saints put up 22 points in the fourth quarter and got themselves back in that game against the Eagles. Jalen Hurts took his team down the field, went into the red zone, and it was a pivotal third down. They ran the read option on the side. The defensive end is looking right at Jalen Hurts like, boy, I'm about to light you up. And Jalen Hurts hit that man with one of the illest cuts I ever seen, left that dude on the ground on hands and knees like he was praying to Allah, and then went across the field and cut it all the way across the field and scored a touchdown to put that game away. Offensive coordinators ain't drawing that up. That's on the players on the field. So when they fired Jason Garrett, I know what they doing. Jason Garrett ain't calling no great, fantastic game plans. But when I looked at the first half against the Bucs, I said, it's not a bad game plan he called here. He ran some creative plays that had Kadarius Toney and doing other things to get the ball down the field. And, yeah, we didn't complete the ball. We got big pass interference calls that set us up to be able to score. When you leave a game like that and your only touchdown comes from your left tackle, how more creative do they want Jason Garrett to get in the red zone? He threw it to Andrew Thomas.
Right. I mean,
I'm getting it.
I think he's part of the problem, but Daniel Jones doesn't help it because he compounds everything with his mistakes and his reading of the defense.
And then if it's not Daniel Jones, is somebody on the line. You look at there was a red zone attempt there. Oh, the first red zone attempt that we got of the game. We drive down the field, offense looking crazy. I'm like, oh, maybe we gonna compete today. I didn't want to try to hype myself up, but I'm like, maybe they'll compete. This dude drops back. You got Kadarius Toney 15 yards down the field on the left sideline, wide open, and you just missed the throw, right? And that's okay. Quarterbacks can miss throws. I don't expect quarterbacks to make every throw. But this is the problem with the team. We then get down a little closer. It's 3rd and 5. You get an offsides penalty. And now you're looking at 3rd and long. Of course you're not going to convert with Daniel Jones on 3rd and long. You got to settle for a field goal. Right there, I was like, oh, this game's over.
I said this game's over as soon as that happened.
We have got to be the only franchise where if we get down by a touchdown, everybody think we lost.
Oh, because I would love to see the statistics.
If the score is 7-3, it's like, damn.
Is like, why don't Joe Judge is feeling the pressure from the fan base? So he gets a 4th and 1. First of all, you had a 3rd and long, and Kadarius Toney damn near bailed us out of that thing with like a 14 or 13-yard gain. Now you're looking at 4th and 1, a long one. I thought it was 4th and 2. When I see them say 4th and 1, I go, nah, that's 2 yards if I'm the quarterback. Okay, and Joe Judge starts feeling the pressure, and he goes, "Let's go. We're down by 7. Let's go for it." Instead of taking the 3, right?
You go for it. I knew we lost.
You literally go for it. And then Tom Brady comes back. When Tom Brady came back, he came back with a vengeance that next drive. The Bucs go hurry up offense. They go 80 yards. Man, it was a highlight reel. And I bring up all that to say this. I saw this stat today and I almost lost my mind. Somebody over there getting kirked on. I saw this stat and it damn near blew my mind today. The New York Giants, in the last 2 minutes before the half, have been outscored 45 to nothing. What is going on?
That's terrible.
45 to nothing in the last 2 minutes in 11 weeks of football.
Don't you know it's Jason Garrett's fault, Authentic?
He got to be Jason Garrett's fault. Hey, Max, I hope that it was Jason Garrett's fault. I hope that this offense just go lights out, put up 40 points all year for the rest of the year. But when I'm looking at the Eagles got 5 games of over 30 points. What?
Right.
With Nick Sirianni over there, who struggled to run the ball all first half of the season. He would not get a ball to his running backs. But now they got back-to-back games with over 200 yards, and now they got to go to MetLife and go see the Giants. And the Giants' whole nation thinking it's supposed to be a revenge game. Man, it is not going to surprise me if the Eagles come up there and kick our ass, bro. It's not going to surprise me.
The Eagles have like half the talent we have as well. Like, who's a better receiver, Kenny Galladay or Devontae Smith?
Oh,
who's better, Quez Watkins or Kadarius Toney?
I'll give you the Kadarius Toney one for sure. But
Who's a better running back,
Galladay,
Miles Sanders or Saquon Barkley?
Miles Sanders is a better running back right now.
I don't.
He's a better running back right now. Saquon Barkley's not 100% right now.
Man.
Saquon Barkley's a useless running back.
I don't know if
He's
Saquon,
hurt.
if it's the injury, but this dude Saquon, it's like after 2 yards, he just falls flat on his face, man.
Is it just me or is he playing scared to you guys? He's playing scared in my opinion.
Man, listen, you would be look. I play basketball every Monday before the pandemic happened, right? And I tweaked my knee. I thought that my not my MCL, what's my meniscus? I thought I was getting ready to tear my meniscus because I got a doctor homie, Scotty, who was one of the co-hosts on my show for the first few seasons. He was like, man, your meniscus might be ready to go. I'm gonna get you this brace that costs like $500. You just rock this brace, right? Every time I play basketball, I was scared on that knee, right? And I'm not saying I'm Saquon Barkley, but this dude's coming off of a treacherous knee injury. Of course he's playing scared. He should be. He should be thinking about that knee. Next year, that's when you should really assess Saquon Barkley. Everybody was saying he's gonna come back like Adrian Peterson. They don't realize that Adrian Peterson is an altar beast out here.
Right.
He's a different breed of a person. You know,
still playing.
Yeah, and they released him today, man. Unfortunately, they released him today.
Handshaking.
He has some dragon blood infused in him.
But I'm gonna ask all the Daniel Jones apologists. We're not saying he's the only problem with the team. We say he's one of the main problems.
Man,
when we have the ball.
So far this year,
go ahead, man.
Go ahead. I was just saying, so far this year, I give Daniel Jones about 30% of the blame of what's happening on this offense.
I give him
at least 50. At least.
Nah, Jason Garrett had 50 for the last 10 games.
No.
Daniel Jones had 30.
Did you see Jason Garrett's brilliant game plan against the Raiders? Because his quarterback is Garbaggio.
I'm sorry, bro.
Saints had a good game.
But our offense didn't even win that game against the Raiders.
I'm sorry, bro.
We lose that game without Xavier McKinney.
You would think that, right? But this is the thing. When sometimes you got to dial up a game plan that's going to favor your defense. And what did we do? We ran the ball all day long. So when Carr got on the field, he felt the pressure of, I got to put touchdowns. God damn, man. Who is that, man?
That's my wife.
Sit your ass down, Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
Get on the bench. Get on the bench, Jones.
Listen, that Raiders game plan, it fooled me in the beginning too, Max. I was like, 111 yards from the quarterback, 15 to 20. This is disgusting. But that's how you keep the other team's quarterback on the sideline. Every time Derek Carr got on the field, he was pressing and they were trying to throw the ball. When in reality, if he had more opportunities, all the Raiders had to do was run the ball and they would have beat us because Jacobs was having a day.
I think you're misunderstanding what I'm saying, though. I'm not saying.
The thing is this. I do believe if you take that 7 points away, the offense only scored 16. They're driving down to kick a field goal to win the game.
But
regardless
football is the ultimate team sport, man.
Right, but what I'm saying is Jason Garrett didn't have a bad game plan, but Jason Garrett's game plan didn't win that game.
Right, correct.
What do you mean? It did. We walked away with a W.
No,
because of what happened on the other side of the ball.
You see that? That's a loser. That's a losing mentality that you're thinking with there.
Yo.
You should expect your defense to get you a turnover in a game. You should.
But the turnover doesn't always result in points, though.
I'm sorry, yo.
I'm sorry, yo.
That was a brilliant game plan by Garrett. I was at the game. He changed his whole game plan early when he saw that the Raiders pass rush was going to kill Jones.
Yes, because Crosby was about to kill Jones. And the first time they tried to drop back and pass the ball deep, Daniel Jones gets sacked and you get a fumble. You got to think about this. The amount of times you run the ball with a guy like Booker like that and take the ball out of Daniel Jones' hands, you're limiting the turnovers that your offense might present there. Okay. Y'all saying the offense only scored 7 points in that game. Yeah, it could have been a lot worse. Could have turned the ball over 3 or 4 times if you was trying to throw the ball deep every down.
Well, two things also happened in that game. We're 1-6 in the red zone for the Raiders. Okay. The other thing is the Raiders scored 16 points. All we're saying, if you take McKinney's interception and they don't get any points on that, the Giants have 16 points. Now the Raiders have the ball inside our 20-yard line with 2 minutes to go. They don't need at this point to throw the ball in the end zone, and Quincy O'Shea doesn't fumble the football. And then they kick the field goal, and we're talking about how the Giants blew the game again. Now I get what you're saying about the game plan, but if he scored points and kept them off the field and they won this game 27, 10, then I would be like, oh, that was great game plan.
See,
But
here's
when
the thing, though. You build a hypothetical situation without changing the fact of what might have happened on offense if Xavier McKinney doesn't get the interception. Maybe Jason Garrett has to go to the pass a little bit more and figure out something else in the book. But you got to go with the flow of the game. When your guy gets the interception, what are you going to just keep passing it? Just because the game plan was to pass the ball?
I'm not disagreeing with what you're saying. All I'm saying is, for me, the offense, while it was a solid performance, only scored 16 points in the grand scheme of things, and that doesn't win the game against the Raiders because they were driving in that situation. And you can't expect your defense to get you a turnover every game, or even give you a pick six. You can get a turnover, fine. Some people score, some people don't. The Giants don't.
I think what you're saying is you think I don't understand what you're saying, but I think you don't understand what I'm saying. When the interception happens, Garrett calls the game plan live. He calls it live. So when you get the pick, now he's calling the rest of the game to a pick six type of defensive game. You can't just be like, oh, because if they wouldn't have got the pick six, Jason Garrett couldn't have kept running the ball. He probably would have changed what he would have did. You play to the flow of the game. You get the turnovers. You call the plays that work within that. Booker had his best game of the year.
Can I ask y'all a question?
Fair enough.
Can I ask y'all a question? Name me one top 15 quarterback that we would go against, a top 15 quarterback in the league, and you confidently think Daniel Jones can outplay him. Please.
No one.
None. Kirk Cousins?
So
I don't know, maybe.
No,
I got an even better
Probably
question.
not. Probably
I got an even better question.
You got to hope for a bad game.
I got an even better question. This is how you know this guy's the guy. At the end of the game, we're down by 3. Do you have any confidence in Daniel Jones of getting down the field and scoring a touchdown for us to win the game?
No.
Hell no.
I don't know. I gotta see it without Garrett.
Man,
I gotta see it without Garrett, man. I gotta see it without Garrett. I gotta see someone else.
Before that, do you have
need a couple when the game when you drive
whatsoever? Do you say that Daniel Jones could come up with a play to where we could get down the field and win this game? Any confidence?
I think he can.
Relax that.
He did it against Tampa 2 years ago, right? Didn't he do it to Tampa 2 years ago?
That was a game.
That was his debut.
No, now we're gonna hear excuses how to wipe it out, take it away from him, right?
How you take away from him? Nobody has
here's the thing, man. Daniel Jones has 3 comeback wins in his entire career.
Daniel Jones got the worst O-line in NFL history. One of the worst.
The Detroit Lions have a worse offensive line than them right now, and Jared Goff is putting up equivalent numbers. Can you name a wide receiver on the Detroit Lions?
Tyrell Williams. That's not
Brown,
Cephas. Listen,
you know who their number one wide
my guy's
receiver is
trying
right
to
now?
call Quintez Cephas a good receiver.
What's his name?
Let me tell you who they number one. Let me tell you who they number one wide receiver is, because y'all know who it is. Khalif Raymond. Khalif Raymond is the number one wide receiver on the Detroit Lions right now.
Who the hell is that, bro?
Khalif Raymond was a ex-New York Giants special teamer. I don't know if y'all remember him. He made a couple plays for us, but then he had a drop problem, and we cut him like 2 years ago. He is now the number one wide receiver in Detroit.
Plays in the preseason.
They got T.J. Hawkinson over there, tight end, and that's about it.
We are the only team. We are the only team where we supply a quarterback with weapons, and our quarterback's play does not increase.
Yeah, you know what's wild about the weapons too, Ash? He looked the same when the weapons is on the field and off the field. It's the strangest thing to me. Like, he plays well. What was the game that he played pretty decent somewhere just a couple games ago where we didn't have any of the weapons out there on the field?
The Panthers?
The Panthers game. Yeah, the Panthers game. He played pretty decent against the Panthers, and we didn't have none of the weapons. And then you get all the weapons back. You threw the ball 38 times, and you only targeted Kenny Galladay twice. I know Jason Garrett is dialing up these plays, right? But I told my people who I was watching when I was doing the stream earlier, I was watching Any Given Sunday last night. Sometimes you got to just go, man, screw what you talking about, bro. I'm audible, and you got my NFL life on the line right now, bro.
That movie 2 days ago.
Yeah, you got my NFL life on the line, bro. You're not about to tarnish my career. I'm going to go out here, and if I see it and I feel like I can audible out of this and make a play, or just tell Kenny Galladay, let's audible your route, just heave it up to him. He don't see it.
Make a play.
I'm gonna ask a quick question, just to kind of wrap up my standpoint on this whole Daniel Jones thing. Do you think The conservative mindset between the head coach, Joe Judge, and Jason Garrett's scheme thus far this year has changed the way our quarterback plays.
No. It made him turn the ball over less, and that's the only difference. That's it. He's going to end the year with about 20 touchdowns. Watch. If he can play all the rest of these games, he'll end the year with about 20. He's been averaging about a touchdown a game for his whole career. So we got 7 games left right now. He's sitting at 9.
Sure?
If he could get 1 touchdown for every game, he'll end it with 16.
Are we
at least.
really sure, Authentic? Are we
he
really
should.
sure?
Bro, he's been a 1 touchdown a game quarterback since he got in the league.
Hey, I think Daniel Jones finishes the season.
You know what's funny?
I think Daniel Jones finishes the season with 15 touchdowns.
You know what's funny, man? We're so bad that we're willing to hold on to an average quarterback.
Here's another question for you. Sorry, I thought you were done.
Yeah, that's not progressing the way he should be in 3 years. I understand his offensive line is trash. But can y'all name me anybody on the Texans offensive line?
Nope.
Laramie Tunsil?
Except for Laramie Tunsil.
I think he's hurt.
Yeah, I feel like he ain't been playing.
Can y'all
and they
name
just
me
went
the
out there and
weapons
who did they
besides
just
Brandon?
upset last week? They beat
Hall of Famer Brandon Cooks.
Tennessee.
Hall of Famer.
Besides Brandon Cooks, can you name me any of the weapons over there in Houston besides Brandon Cooks?
They don't got him.
Yeah,
they
don't got anybody.
Can you name me their tight end?
Nope. Nope.
Max Griffin, I believe the tight end is.
I'm not ready to
Do
give
you
up.
know that? Do you know?
I play DraftKings.
Do you know?
I'm
that
not ready to
running
give
back-
up on Jones.
Do you know that their
done.
running back is Johnson and he's been washed for like 3 years?
That dude's been washed for like 5 years.
I got a better question. Why don't you ask the Texans fan what our offensive line's
I need
needs
you
are?
to put this up. Big
Half
Pat,
you
I
guys
need you
will
to pull
sing a
this comment
different
up.
tune come Sunday night. You watch.
Which one?
Half you guys will
Eddie
sing a
Buckets.
different tune. You remember
Eddie
I said
Buckets.
that.
No,
Half
they
you guys
also
are going
have
to sing a
Mike
different
Ingram.
tune come
I
Sunday
just want to
night.
know y'all opinion
No,
on
he's
this.
back on the phone.
I want to know y'all opinion on this.
Joel could make that throw.
That's a basic fade route. It's a basic fade route.
Right.
That's the
That
pass
wasn't
you
even
warm
placed
up
that
on.
well. I mean, you watch Ingram's body language. He kind of has to jump over the guy.
He
Instead
straight
of
Randy Moss told me to make the catch.
It was underthrown.
I mean, like I get
No.
he has a better throws I've seen in his career than that one
For
against
sure.
the Raiders.
For
And
sure.
Evan Ingram.
You know, some of them fade routes that Daniel Jones has thrown to Darius Slayton, last year and this year, he putting them things on the money. And that's
A
one
couple
thing I
with
don't
Shepard,
question
couple
too
with
much
Shepard,
about
too.
Daniel Jones is he can throw the football. That's not the biggest problem with Daniel Jones. It's
Right.
when people start getting in his face, the pressure.
Steve, he wanted to ask a question. He said, "Do you guys think Mac Jones is much better than DJ?" I
I'm not
really
gonna give
can't
that
answer
to him
that question because this is his rookie year, and I just think Mac Jones is in a perfect situation.
He's a system
Yeah.
quarterback.
Mac Jones got no weapons at wide receiver at
But
all.
the system's working for him. So yes, right now he's playing better than Daniel Jones.
Yeah, he's playing
He's
better.
playing better,
Is he
but
much better as a
he's
quarterback?
much
I don't
better
know.
than Daniel Jones. I don't know that.
I'm gonna
yet.
say, yeah, bro. Look what he was doing in college, bro. He put up one of the best statistical seasons in college history.
I mean, the eye test is telling me right now he's doing better and looks better. I don't care what system he's in; he's performing. That's what you need.
He's performing.
Right?
Oh, Max, what was
It's
your
a funny
question,
thing
Max?
because I remember in that draft, Belichick had a real hard on for Daniel Jones.
Did he? I didn't know that.
Yeah, he did.
I thought it was going to
He
be
was in love with
Washington if
him.
it wasn't going to be New York.
Right,
Hey,
or
Max.
Denver, maybe Denver. Yeah.
I mean,
Max,
it really go back to what I was telling you about the dancing thing, bro. You know, he just looks like a dude that can't dance. He's confused out there.
Look, I came out of last night's game and I told my fiance, this guy it's just not it. It's just not a fit over here.
Right.
But today I sat down, I thought about it, I had a day to swallow it, and I'm willing. Let's see 7 more games this year with a new coordinator. Let's see what's up before we throw the guy under the train.
You got to. You pretty much
I'm
got
not
to bring
saying
him
But
back
if
every
a new
year.
coaching staff or a
Hold
new
on, Logan.
GM comes in here and says to Joe Judge, "Do you think this is the guy going forward? Because you are tied to your future is tied to his success. He fails, you fail, right?" Well, is Judge going to be sitting there saying, "Well, yeah, let's keep this guy after he has 3,300 yards and 20 touchdowns"? Like, let's be real. If he has a chance to upgrade, he might want to save his job and say, "Listen, let me pick my guy, and we'll go from there."
But does Judge knows better than all of us because he's with the kid every single day. But does Judge believe that the way he works hard, the way he studies film, does Judge believe he's going to be a better quarterback this time next year?
That's a good question right there.
That's the thing we don't know that Judge has a better view on.
Well, he's been working. I understand that. I see the improvement.
The odds is against homie right now. You know, a lot of people think he looked good in that Pat Shurmur system, and I'm not one of them.
Max,
I remember that up and down play, all those fumbles. 6 of the fumbles that he had were returned for pick 6. That go to show you that he ain't even seeing the pressure coming.
How many fumbles did he have?
What was your next question, Max?
11.
Oh my God, 18.
18, but 11 lost.
What was your next question, Max?
So the Giants went and spent a bunch of money this offseason on a bunch of different players. We as Giants fans might not have thought we were going to be Super Bowl or even playoff contenders, but had some hope for this season based on the way we ended last year and coming into this year with more people. On the rest of our schedule, we play the Eagles twice, who all of the NFL thought was going to be terrible. The media, the fans of every fan base thought the Eagles were going to be trash this year. We have the Miami Dolphins, who are not playing well. Yeah, they beat the Ravens, but, I mean, we beat the Saints, right? Of our games that are left, how many do you see Vegas giving us the favor for? How many of our games do you think we're favored in that are left on our schedule?
One. The
Zero.
Bears.
2.
That's it.
2.
Oh, if the Bears win, we won't be favored if we lose.
I think 2.
Our game's in Chicago. We're not going to be favored. It's in Chicago.
Yeah, we might be favored. Like it matters on home games too. Yeah. So if we get homes, it doesn't. If we play someone like
we play Miami away, we play the Bears away, we play the Eagles at home and away, we play the Chargers away.
Well, we're not favored in the Eagle game. We're underdog.
Probably none. Maybe one. Probably none.
0. The only game you'll be favored in is the last game of the year at home against Washington, and that's if we win a couple of games leading up.
We're not going to be favored against Washington.
We're plus 3 point. You're plus 3.5 this week against the Eagles.
Yeah, we're underdog in our own house, and what was supposed to be a payback game. So that's bad.
Yeah, that's crazy. Damn.
And one of the main reasons why is because Daniel Jones is our quarterback. Wow. We will never be favored. I'm just going to be honest with you.
The Dolphins might be getting it together. You know, you never know. They got a game here coming up against the Panthers. If they could beat the Panthers, that's going to be 4 straight wins for the Dolphins. And, then we're going to catch them on a 4-game winning streak riding high.
Check this. Wait.
We might mess around and lose to the Dolphins.
Check this.
We always get every team.
They made us. They gave us plus 3.5. They made Jacksonville a pick'em game against the Falcons.
I mean, I don't have confidence that we're going to beat Miami. I mean, that's the only game I see that we should be favored in, but who knows, right? I mean, who knows? The Giants' defense didn't play that well last week, and we seem to forget about that as well.
Yeah.
So,
but on the other side, if the Giants come out and beat the Eagles at home, which can happen, because I'm sorry, I'm not really ready to anoint the Eagles some world beater just because they won 2 in a row. If the Giants beat the Eagles,
they won 2 in a row.
Everybody's going to jump back on the wagon. Oh, look at the Giants' schedule. They could still get to 8 wins. You watch. You'll see.
Not me.
I won't.
If the Giants beat the Eagles, you're going to hear all these people talking about a wild card again. You'll see.
I won't.
You might.
I refuse to.
Not as money.
I'm just speaking for myself. Like, I'm completely clocked out now. I'm like, when I was watching that Bucks game on Monday night, it was like I was feeling vibes of like, don't get it too close because I don't want the smoke and mirrors right now thinking we got a chance to win this game. 17-10 at the half, I'm like, nah, that didn't look like a 17-10 half to me. That looked like we should be down by like 2 scores already. And we got lucky enough to be down by 7 in that game. The Eagles right now, they figured it out. They got the identity right now between those 3 running backs with Jordan Howard, Boston Scott, and now they got Miles Sanders back looking better than ever coming off the 95 yards. Like, I'm worried about that Eagles game because that was the one game that I did want to win. I wanted to sweep the Eagles coming out of last season with the whole Nate Sudfeld and the whole tanking, and then they snuffed us for the draft pick with Devonta Smith and all that. But man, it ain't looking good. I'm gonna keep
the Eagles got it figured out. The Eagles got it figured out because they've been playing rock, paper, scissors and watering their plants on Saturdays. That's what it is.
The Eagles got it figured out because they got a quarterback
that
that can extend the play, man.
I'm not saying we're making any type of. I'm not saying we're making a play. I'm just saying if the Giants win a game this week, it's not going to look as harsh as it's looking right at this moment. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying. You kind of get what I'm. Like with the schedule ahead, they got 50-50 games with the Bears, Miami, even though Miami's hot right now. But you know, that's what I'm trying. I'm not saying we're making a run. I never thought we was making any run. But it's not. If they end up winning 7 games on the year, it doesn't look as bad as 3 or 4, is what I'm saying.
See, and I don't want those smoke and mirrors, man. Like I'm one right now, and I've been saying this since about
Fire everybody
3 weeks ago. Like I want to fire Joe Judge. He ain't getting it done. There's no identity on his team, and you got to fire Dave Gettleman because he's not bringing in the right personnel right now.
Also, we talked about this a bit earlier, and I got a question for you on that when you finish your thought.
Yeah, I just wanted to say that he's taking too long to address situations that even to fans, casual fans, is very obvious, man. Like the offensive line, Miz, I'll never forget that stream that Miz was on. I can't remember if it was here on Big Pats or if it was on the hub, but you were just like, yo, I'm telling you, man, this offensive line ain't it. People wasn't trying to listen to Miz. People were like, oh, no, man, the weapons is going to be able to make the line better. And I was one of them. I'm like, the weapons should make the lines better. Daniel Jones is mobile. We found out this year that Daniel Jones is not mobile. And this offensive line should have been addressed early on. If Miz was in the GM office right there, we would have had the offensive line we wanted. And we could have relied on the run the way that we should be. And that's why I brought up that Raiders game, because Jason Garrett, something clicked in his mind that was like, nah, I ain't dying on this shit with this quarterback. I'm not doing that. I'm going to run that rock until we can't run the rock no more. And if you look at the formula that the Washington football team put up against the Bucs last week, that's how they beat them. They got the 2 early turnovers. And the crazy thing is the Giants got the early turnover that we needed, but we didn't rely on that running game. We had 10 carries from our running backs all day long, 13 carries total. And that's what we needed to do. We needed to hammer the run just like the Washington football team did. They gave Antonio Gibson 20 carries. He only got 60 yards. That is not good, but that's what you got to do. Sometimes you got to just rely on that run. And the Beard, he been telling me this for 2 years now. Man, the game plan for bad teams and bad quarterbacks is just keep running the ball, bro. Yep. Unless you get behind by 14 points, 17 points, then you can abandon that whole running scheme. But look at this game against the Bucs, man. We down by 7. Should be down by 4 going into that half, and we just completely abandoned the run. I don't know whose idea that was. Maybe it was Garrett.
No
maybe
time
it was
for
Judge.
Bucky
Maybe
to
it was both.
establish himself.
Be right back.
Quick thing. Pat, how long are you going to be on for?
You're going to be on here all the way till Sunday night.
The way authentic talking, we probably could.
I went live when Jason Garrett got fired at 2:00. Yeah. We was live till about 5:00. The Beard was like, bro, I need to get off the stream because I got to take some notes for our Tonight Show. We took like a 2-hour break, went live at 7:00 from 7 to 10 for like 3 hours. And then I popped up here. So I got to make my way soon. I'll keep it focused.
But I get off, Pat, I don't know how long you're streaming, but I get off work in like 30 minutes. I don't know if you still be on, but I'm going to hop on when I get off, right?
I don't know, but if I am, man, you're more than welcome to hop back on.
Yo,
yeah, I'll be listening.
I appreciate what you said, taking recognition of what I said back before the draft. But I'll say it again right now. This next draft, man, is exactly the same thing. I'm not going to go into it. O-line, man. But I also admit I would have drafted Parsons with that 11th pick, and then I would have went O-line the rest of the way.
And you see, that would have offset some of the problems we're having because the defense ain't what we thought it was. And Parsons out here, Parsons about to break that record from Javon Curse, man, for the most sacks by a rookie. I think he got 11 sacks on the season now.
What's the record? 14 or 16?
Let me see. I had it up here.
I think the record's 12.
He's winning defensive.
No, it's more than, it was more than 12. It was like 14 or 15 for sure. It was 14.
14. He's going to break 14 and 16. He's going to break that.
He's got 11 already with 7 games remaining.
I think he's going to be the defensive player of the year.
He should, man. And when you see the tenacity, and that's the thing that I got to credit Miz for. I think that, because I don't watch a lot of college ball, but I notice about Miz what he sees. The alpha kind of players where it's like, just like Randy Gregory. I've been talking about Randy Gregory on our podcast every damn week. That dude, when he's chasing a quarterback, like a pit bull chasing a mailman. I got to get to the quarterback. and he's going to get it. We got these defensive linemen that they don't got that kind of tenacity, and we need a player like that on our team. And we need guys like that on our offensive line as well, too.
We got none of those on defense. You have one guy on defense that's close to that type of dog, but he doesn't have the speed, the talent, athletic ability to be that, and that's Peppers. Man.
Leo.
Right.
No, Leo too.
It's
Leo's just getting overpaid, you know, and that's what I be talking about with Dave Gettleman double dipping, right? Nobody wanted to give Leonard Williams 20 million plus except Pest. I do remember Pest being on record saying, yeah, give him the 20 million. But look at JPP, right? Dave Gettleman gets here, he wheel and deal JPP, got him out of here, right? JPP is still a serviceable defensive end in this league. He's still doing big things. He's only got 2.5, I think 3 sacks on the season, but he's getting paid like $9 million a season. You could get 2 JPPs for the price of a Leo.
He's playing injured too. It's crazy.
Yeah, he just coming off the knee surgery for the torn MCL that just happened. He had the surgery in like March.
And he's playing on a torn rotator cuff.
And a torn rotator cuff out here, still doing.
And Nate Soda was getting abused by him. Abused. Like you're going against a man that could barely extend his arm. How are you getting abused by this? You getting crossed over with a basketball out there. JPP just did that, and Nate Soda's on his ass. Like,
yeah, they in different atmospheres, man. Like Nate Solder, we know Nate Solder out of here, man. But I just think, like, you know, a lot of Giants fans want to just hang on their opinions, and I'm not one of those people. You know, I remember telling this to Bobby Skinner one time on Twitter, and I know it rubbed him the wrong way, but I was like, yo, I take everyone else's opinions, and I look at a lot of different analysts, and I look for people that got proof and facts that can prove me wrong on the opinion that I have every day. You know, if I feel like, because last year I was all on Daniel Jones, like he's going to come back next year and be the man. And as soon as I get that proof that I feel like can lean my opinion a certain way, I'm at liberty to change my opinion at any given point, because I'm not one of them people that's just going to die on a wrong opinion. And looking at Daniel Jones lately, bro, it's like, if you don't see it, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. If you don't see it, that dude out there, like, I don't know where to go. Interception. You know what I'm saying? It's just like, I don't even know, like, what you watching at this point, because he's not only is he not playing consistent football, but when he's playing good football, it's not great. It's not great.
It's rarely ever that I watch a play from a quarterback that has me speechless.
That's facts, bro.
That interception he threw on that screen, all I could say was,
bro,
the fuck was that?
What are you doing? And then on the second interception on the out route, I'm like,
yeah,
bro, you don't see Devin out. Maybe I got the best camera angle in the country from watching it, you know, on Monday Night Football. But yo, he's baiting you in, and it's right there. You like, here, bro, right to him. Like, what are we doing?
He got a little bit of pressure and moved to his right. I was surprised he did that.
That's a good thing you said right there, Pat, because them quarterbacks that we like the way they maneuver in the pocket, they hold the football like they want the football. Right. Daniel Jones be holding the football like, you take it. You know what I'm saying? Like, he don't want the football. I don't get it, bro. I don't get it.
Man, my brother had me crying last night.
I feel bad for the kid too, bro. I feel bad for him. But look, I can't feel bad for a person when I'm sitting in my basement here trying to make every dollar I could make to make my situation better, and homie getting paid $25 million to go out there and throw interceptions.
It's like watching a kid on the playground, and there's a bunch of dudes taking his sandwich and eating it. It's like,
it's horrible, bro. It's horrible. It's like he got bullied. He been getting bullied the whole year. And now we caught him like, we caught him in spring, and he like, man, here, just take my sandwich, bro. Here go the cookies, bro, and the Twix and all that. Just take it, bro. I ain't even gonna fight you for it.
It's like, man, you just want to help him, but you can't.
You know what Daniel Jones is? What's the scene in Necessary Roughness where the Q is like, blow the damn whistle, blow the fucking whistle?
Yeah. They took that same scene from the Little Giants too. Little Giants did it. They repeated it when the kid was running in circles, like, blow the whistle, blow the whistle, and then they cracked it.
If you can't see that Daniel Jones is a major problem right now, you're never gonna see it. You're never gonna see it.
Yeah, bro. And I pray to God we wrong, Pat. I pray to God we wrong, bro. Maybe he come out and put up 50 for 7 straight games to end the rest of the year with a new coordinator.
I've seen Josh Johnson with the New York Jets. They were down by like damn near 30. And he started to make it a game with the same offensive line, the same weapons Mike White had when he was throwing 5 interceptions. Josh Johnson came in there with the same people and the whole game switched.
Yep.
And then he got kicked off the team for Joe Flacco the next week.
Yeah,
and
he made one mistake in that game late where he threw that interception that got tipped, and that really ended their chances of coming back. But he did a good job of getting them back in the game.
He did a good job. I'll see Tyrod Taylor. I asked you, name the people on that offense with the Houston Texans besides Tyrod Taylor. This man is literally flying in the air to get 19 points to win against the Titans. Just to get 19
touchdown versus the Titans. He became Superman on Sunday, bro.
Yeah, man, and you could tell that those kind of quarterbacks got that will to win. You look at the play that Taylor Heineke made on 3rd and 5 in that game to seal it against the Carolina Panthers pretty much. Daniel Jones ain't making those kind of plays where he extends the play to the last minute and make a great throw to complete it. And even the week before that, to throw to Terry McLaurin in the tight window.
This is where I'm going to disagree with you a bit, Authentic, with saying Daniel Jones isn't showing that he has the will to win. Because, again, this isn't me trying to come at you or anything, but just as a discussion
bro,
point.
I don't mind. Don't worry.
All right, yeah, just as a discussion point, like Daniel Jones on the 2-yard line, right? Dallas game, boom, concussion, right? Daniel Jones goes out there, catches that ball, right? Crazy plays that this man is trying to make to will this team to win by himself. And I think maybe he's trying too much to do too much, which is what Saquon's problem has been.
No, maybe I described that the wrong way then when I say the will to win. When I say the will to win, it don't mean go out there and just do reckless stuff and get your head taken off like he did against Dallas. That wasn't smart. That just wasn't a smart
But that's
play.
him trying to put the team on his back and make plays to win.
But it's not smart. Did you see the play where Jalen Hurts did? Oh, perfect one this past weekend. Cam Newton, they're in the red zone against Washington. They tried to do a read option where Cam kept it and he ran to the right. He realized the play was busted. Did you see what he did? He slid to the side behind the line of scrimmage. Lived to play another down. They end up scoring on the drive. Daniel Jones goes out there. He's running off that hype that he had from the Saints game. Oh, I'm trucking linebackers now. I took the ball and truck linebackers, got himself killed. When I say will to win, that's not what I mean. I'm talking about doing whatever it takes to get the W, because Daniel Jones is the kind of quarterback when given the opportunities to win the game, I can go through every game on the schedule and tell you when he had an opportunity. Atlanta Falcons late in the game. I know Nate Solder getting blown up on the right side. He had a minute left in that game to go down there and score and win the game late after Atlanta kicked the field goal, right? He goes down there, he takes a sack. I know Nate Solder gets blown up, but I want to see a guy who can shake a defender, maybe get out of trouble. You look at the Kansas City Chiefs game. Yeah, the offense didn't play a great game. The defense kind of played a decent game. I believe it was 20-16. Daniel Jones gets the ball back with about 1:05 left in the game. What does he do? Goes out there, takes 2 sacks, throws 1 completion for 3 yards, and we out of here. You look at that last game just last night. I know we were getting blown out of the water for sure, but he had one last opportunity to try to put some points on the board. What does he do? Goes out there, takes 2 sacks, game over. He's not the guy when you got the window, and that's what I look for in a quarterback. When given the opportunity and you get that window to win it or to put a team away. The Raiders was another game. In the Raiders game, right? Granted, we were relying on the run a lot, but I don't know if y'all remember the consecutive 3rd down conversions that Daniel Jones had, where he had the one where he spun and it was on a 3rd down. He ran it up the middle and then he spun. He got the 1st down, and then he had the other 1st down and he threw to Kenny Galladay on the same drive. Okay. Then we get down there. We near the red zone. You need 7 here. We were up by 1 point in that game. You need 7. If you get a touchdown at that point late in the 4th quarter like that, or actually it was early in the 4th quarter, but if you get a touchdown there and you can push it to a 8-point lead, analytics say you should go for 2 there to try to make it a 9-point lead. And then you're talking about trying to put Derek Carr behind 2 scores now. Nope, Daniel Jones can't convert. We get the ball back again, up by 4. All we need is a touchdown to put the game completely away. Daniel Jones driving, he gets the 1st down to Kadarius Toney. As soon as we get down to the red zone, things get a little bit whoa. He don't convert. We got to settle for a 3. And now we give the Raiders one more chance to come down. Thank God for the defense to make the stop there at the end.
So I think maybe using the word will to win was probably not what you were looking for there then?
That's what I said. Yeah, maybe I used the wrong word. What can we call it? What word would you use?
Based off of those comparisons and what route you're taking, I would just talk about his playmaking ability. Because the kid has heart, and he goes and tries to make plays.
Ability. It's about when you see the windows to put teams away and win games. He shrinks and gets smaller, And that's what I'm talking about, the will. You know, people that got that will, when they really got the will to win something, they go out there and get it done at all costs. It don't matter if Nate Solder blows a block or whatever. They're going to put the team on their back and get the W. They're going to be more aware in a situation when you only have one opportunity left in the game with 1 minute down by 4 points than take 2 sacks back to back. I saw Ben Roethlisberger do it this past weekend. I was like, what the hell are you doing, bro? You a veteran. You can't do that. I don't do that in Madden, bro. I'm not taking no sack late in Madden. Ain't no way. Because you know what that does. Josh Allen had that problem, I felt like, in the playoffs early on in his career, too, where it's like, yo, everything riding on these plays. You in field goal range, and now you taking sacks to knock your team out of field goal range. For me, I don't know what other term I would use, but y'all know what I'm trying to say here. If it's not will, maybe it's the determination to win, you know, to finish those games and really put teams away. Daniel Jones ain't that guy. Three comeback wins the whole time. You behind every damn game with the New York Giants. What do you mean 3 comeback wins? Like, find a way to win some games.
It's either he doesn't know how or he just can't. As simple as that.
With those kind of things, it's not even a know-how. Like, Pat, I know you played sports. You know when you just got to turn it up. You just got to, hey, dog,
you just have it in you. You just
I'm going to die. They're not going to say I'm the person that was the problem and the reason why we lost.
It's like, I don't know if you guys remember the crazy things that he does. Yes, I think he does have a will to win. And you're right, Max. He tries to do too much at times. Y'all remember the first game in Pittsburgh last year? We were down 16-10. 2nd and 5. This dude rolls out the pocket and tries to throw the ball and gets it tipped up in the air and picked off by
that
8.
was a 98-yard drive.
Right. That cost us the game.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was, yo.
I just don't understand it, man. It's like an inconsistent player on your team is the worst type of player to have on your team.
Yep.
Because you never know what's going to happen.
Oh man, last year was.
But I think at this point, it's more about Daniel Jones' ability at question than his mentality.
Oh, it's all mental with him though. You looking at a guy he's not confident. It's just like what I said before, bro. Yeah. It's like certain players want the ball. You know, that's why Michael Jordan was so great, because when the game was coming down to the end, it's like, bro, I want the ball. That's why they questioned LeBron James for so long, because at the end of the games, he'd be like, I ain't really trying to take the shot. Here you go, JR. You want those players that want the ball in their hands at the end of the game and are fearless in a way that's like, it's controlled fearless. It's not fearless where it's like, I'm just going to go out here and just run straight into the whole defense and get killed. You know, when Big Pat's talking about the Pittsburgh game, I can think about the Dallas game last year, too, where he was trying to throw the ball away in the back of the end zone and it got intercepted. So it's just consistent. He's more consistently bad than he is consistently good.
One step forward,
I know y'all think he's not getting a fair shake, and most of the part of it he's not. That's why I'm saying you got to bring him back next year. Put a line in front of him and see what he does.
You got to bring him back. Unless somebody try to wheel you the perfect deal on a quarterback, you take.
You got to bring Daniel Jones.
If they try to give you like Russell Wilson or something for like a 1st and a 4th, I'm doing that all day.
But the thing is, Authentic, how are you fitting that into our cap situation?
I don't know. They'll figure it out. But do you remember this year with the cap? We don't got the cap to sign a guy like a Dory Jackson. Well, magically, they got $30 million out of nowhere. The cap doesn't mean anything in the NFL. I don't want to hear nothing about the cap, man, because the cap don't mean nothing in the NFL.
We got to bring $60 million over the cap and find a way to get underneath the cap. It kept everybody.
I don't know how they pulled it off, Pat. I don't know. I remember Kid Blue made this video where he went through every contract, and I don't be like digging through the pockets of the organization that much, right? But I looked at the Kid Blue video and I was like, damn, we really ain't got no money to sign nobody. It was after the Kenny Galladay signing. I was like, we ain't got money to sign nobody. They magically just been signing people all year. They're going to restructure James Bradbury, restructure Sterling Shepard. They'll restructure people to the death of the Giants and bring in players. So, man, whatever you got to do to bring in, you know, a guy like Russell Wilson, if you get the right deal, do it. Shoot, you know, even if it involves getting rid of Daniel Jones and letting him go to Seattle, do it.
You got it. You got to. I mean, you can't put Russell Wilson here and keep Daniel Jones. You got to let Daniel Jones go somewhere else.
We definitely got to keep DJ, but I think we have to sign a veteran to compete with him and light a fire under him.
Which goes to a lot of quarterbacks.
Here's the thing, too. I was just thinking about this. I'm not trying to make an excuse for Daniel Jones. Well, I totally agree, and that was my whole case. Was like, I think we should just keep him for 1 year to give him a fair shake. I think so too. It's like I'm not trying to just talk out of my ass right now, but like if you look at Daniel Jones his whole season, and you look at other NFL's quarterbacks around the league, like who has been his guy that he can trust that's gonna be there, like his go-to. He doesn't have a go-to.
Sterling
Sterling
Shepard when he's
Shepard?
healthy.
But that's the thing. When Sterling Shepard
he
is
don't
healthy,
trust himself,
you know,
And that's the thing too. Is like when you look at the wide
Yeah.
receiver core for the New York Giants, you think they looking at the quarterback going, "Man, we trust
I
that guy."
think it's the point. It's a lot to do with his mental, and he needs to be able to overcome his demons to go out there and execute, because he's thinking too much, right? Can't you guys agree with that?
Yeah.
Like he's thinking way too much. He just needs to be playing the game of football. Just go out there and
I just think that he just might not have it.
he
just might not have it.
He might not. Yeah.
Wait though. Can you imagine what's going on in Galladay's and
Oh my God.
Galladay's pissed.
and Kadarius Toney's head? They like,
He's so
look,
sick
I
right
don't give
now.
a I don't give a shit what Galladay thinks, bro. That dude's a loser.
we got to deal with the offensive coordinator who don't know how to use us.
Bro.
And then they turn and look at the huddle, and
Oh
this
my
Daniel Jones
Hey,
sitting
bro.
right there.
Hey Pat,
Like-
this man threw 38 passes last night, and 2 of them went to Galladay. Have we even seen Daniel Jones
No,
throw a
last night
50-50
was-
pass to Galladay all year?
I went crazy last night. You bought $72 million star receiver, and he got 2 passes all damn night.
Yo, as the quarterback, Miz, if you the quarterback, right? When they dial it up, aren't you just gonna be like, yo, screw that, I'm throwing it to my guy.
Right.
No, you remember what Eli used to do with Plexico, right? He would go to him all day long.
All
Remember
day.
that Green
All
Bay
day.
playoff game?
But that's the
Oh,
thing.
beautiful.
I don't think Kenny Galladay wants to be DJ's guy. At
What
this
you
point,
mean, bro? Did
Nah,
you see?
it's
Look,
not about
the greatest thing that Kenny Galladay did this year was blow up on Jason Garrett. Get me the
Right.
damn ball. Listen,
went
man,
nuts
I
last night,
played
I heard.
quarterback, okay, and then I played wide receiver. You want the ball every play. That's why you out there. You're not out there to be like, man, I'm just trying to cruise through this and get my bread. No way.
sure, until a team starts losing.
Even when
I
you
heard,
lose,
I heard
bro.
he was one of the reasons last night. He went nuts. Couple
Oh
plays.
man,
went
I
nuts.
can't imagine what he's saying in lock because you saw him give up. And when somebody give up like that, that speaks volumes, bro.
And he don't give up. He usually don't. He's not known as a guy that he doesn't give up. You know,
Right? That's not
him.
his style. That's not his style. There's no way. There's no wide receiver in the league that don't want the ball.
If
That
he
might
can
be
give up
that
in
might be some of
Detroit,
the
he damn
craziest
sure
I've
ain't
ever
gonna give
heard,
up
bro.
here.
Every wide receiver wants that ball every play.
Let me
No, I'm
ask
not
you a
saying he doesn't
question
want the
on-
ball, but he doesn't want to be DJ's guy. If what you people are saying about this offense and Daniel Jones is true, and what the wide receivers are thinking about him, maybe he's looking at DJ going, you know what? Maybe he's not my guy. Maybe I don't care, and that's why he's giving up.
Even if he's not the guy, he's like, bro, I want the ball.
He
I don't
looked
want to
at
go.
Garrett that way.
Who wants to be in a game where you watch 38 passes get thrown through the air and you're supposed to be the number one wide receiver and you like, I'm
He
good with
running
that.
all that routes too.
Yeah,
like,
there's no
back and
way.
forth.
And honestly, man, Daniel Jones, all you see him do is pat the ball when you're in that pocket. You'll see him
Blow the
you know
damn
how, like-
whistle. Blow the damn whistle.
Check this out. You know how like when you because we get that like shrinked view on TV, right, where you don't see the secondary as much, right? And you know how as a fan, when you're watching the game, you could feel it. I used to know when Eli Manning was going to throw the ball deep before he would throw it. I couldn't see the wide receivers down the field, but you just see the demeanor like open up like, here it come. And then Daniel Jones just be like, oh, throw it short. Come on, dog. I would be just heaving that. Yo, you got nothing to lose right now, bro. You're a bum right now. You're a bum right now. You got nothing to lose, bro. Nothing is working. I'm going to that line and I'm like, hey, Galladay, go on that 9, bro. Whatever. I'm throwing it.
Right.
I don't care who on you. I'm
give a
throwing
damn
it, bro.
who's out
This
there.
might be an interception or here come the comeback, whatever. You got to get that guy involved in the game.
I'd
And then
rather have
Kadarius
a
Toney's
long
the only wide
interception
receiver
than
that
a
got
short
involved in the game for real all day. None of the other wide receivers getting targets.
I can just imagine the turmoil that's going through those receivers' head, man. I know
Man.
they're glad that Jason Garrett is gone because his game plans are not utilizing him. But then you look at the huddle and you see Daniel Jones, and you just know he's one instant away from throwing the ball
and
away.
what y'all know about the eyes? What y'all know about the eye
Right.
test? What you know about when you look right into somebody's eyes? You know, shout out to my homie Roman, who always pulls up to a lot of my streams. I don't know if y'all know Roman from the chat, right? He got Daniel Jones as his profile picture on his YouTube thing, right? And I pulled it up at the end of our show. What y'all know about looking into somebody's eyes, right? When you look in the eyes and you could be like, I just know that's the dude. Like, you just look into the eyes and be like, that's my quarterback right there. You look at Dak Prescott. Do you see that? Do you see that like, that ain't the guy behind those two eyes. That brain is just going crazy, and that's just not the guy. When I look at Daniel Jones in the eyes, he ain't the guy.
Yeah.
When I look at Daniel Jones, he looks scared.
I know it. He's scared of.
He looked like something ain't right upstairs a little bit. I ain't trying to be disrespectful here. I'm talking about when you look at him right dead in the eyes, bro. You know how like are y'all familiar with the movie The Program?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, the dude who played the quarterback, who played Joe Kane, when he say that speech in the huddle, he's like, we about to put the women and children to bed and go hunting for dinner, right? That look. I would trust that guy. When I see Daniel Jones and I look at him right in his eyes, I don't trust that dude. I don't trust him. He look like he might steal. Daniel Jones look like he might steal something petty from my house, like pens or something, and notepads or something like that.
When I look at Daniel Jones, I think he needs a small dose of medication. I ain't gonna lie, bro.
Dog, he looked like he not really there. You know, like the eyes don't. Like when I look at Derek Carr, I'm like, oh, that looked like somebody that could lead a football team. When you look at a guy like Ryan Tannehill, who don't got no commercials, but he a top 10 quarterback, you don't never see that guy on TV. Why? Because he all about business. He all about getting W's. All about trying to take his team to victories. When I look at Taylor Heineke, I feel the same way. Exactly. I ain't saying Taylor Heineke's a better quarterback than Daniel Jones right now, but when I look at him in the eyes, I go, that looked like a dude that got it. He could be a leader. When I looked at Dwayne Haskins in the eyes, I was like, nah, dude ain't got it. Dude ain't got it.
I could tell by Dwayne Haskins' interviews he wasn't going to be good. His interviews, when he talked, I was like, this guy's not going to be good. And when
sometimes some guys break that mold, you know, like they don't pass that look in the eye test where you like, he look like he could be that guy. You know, I'm trying to think of like somebody who's kind of like that.
Hey, so
like,
doesn't like for
Herbert,
me, I looked at Trey Lance and I'm like, yo, like this guy could be something special.
Who looked into this dude's eyes and said, "That's my quarterback"?
that's the picture. That's the picture right there that Roman got. Just look at and I ain't trying to be funny. Like I'm dead ass serious, right? When you look at his eye, don't something
like
look like
Woody from Toy Story?
Like something might be a little bit not quite all the way. Like if I had to judge the IQ, this might be, you know, this might be a lower IQ here, bro. When I look at Patrick Mahomes, I see confidence.
Authentic. Doesn't he dead ass look like Woody from Toy Story?
He do.
Look at that image of him and Eli.
You know, and Eli don't pass the eye test. Speaking of quarterbacks, who, like when you look right in the eyes, you be like, I don't know, something don't look quite right there. Like Peyton Manning kind of got that, but Eli didn't have it. But yo, Eli's an anomaly, man.
Eli showed it on the field though. He showed it when he played.
Eli used to be out there going like, you want me to do what? Like, but then go out there, bang, it's like a whole different dude. Like he was in costume or something, dog. Like Eli Manning was just different, bro.
When I look at BJ's eyes, I look at a dude that's gonna mess up. He's gonna do something crazy and mess up.
It looked like,
gentlemen.
It looks like, you know, he looked like the kind of person, you know, at quarterback, you have to exude confidence, right? Daniel Jones looks like the kind of person that kind of deals with anxiety a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Like he just like, he's not walking around dead confident in his own shoes. And I think that shows on the field a little bit. Like he's just not all the way confident. Everything he do is kind of like he's second guessing it just a little bit. And it's very rare that quarterbacks don't pass that look in the eye test, and they're really great players. But man, we have to find a way, bro. I mean, if they're gonna deal with Daniel Jones being a quarterback for another year, that's cool with me, whatever. Put the pieces around him to make the team perfect so we could win some games. Y'all know what y'all got right now. Giants fans that are still trying to go through an evaluation process of the quarterback, it's over. We know what he is. His best play, exactly, you know what it is.
All right, gentlemen, it's been fun. Big Pat, thanks for having me on. Authentic, it's always fun debating. Good seeing you, Miz, Logan, Zion, and Joel, if you're still there and can hear me. I got to hit the hay because tomorrow's going to be a long, long day of moving.
Later, Max.
Bunch of stuff.
I'm just kicking back, taking receipts. That's all I'm doing.
You have a good one, Max, and congratulations.
All right, have a good night, everybody.
All I know is this going to be hard for this kid to succeed?
Listen,
Unless we
No,
got an offensive line in front of us.
y'all been cracking it up, enjoying each other's company. It's nice to see him, not gonna lie. However, here comes Joel. Listen, I'll tell you what. In my eyes, from what I watch, now, I'm not talking just like 10, 20 years. I'm talking 40 years of football. I played 9 years of football from pee-wees to high school, never went to college, never got any of that experience. But as for somebody who has played, loved the game, watched the game, Jason Garrett had his play calling pulled for a reason in Dallas. And that still bothered me when we signed him as an offensive coordinator.
That's true.
I think Jason Garrett screwed big time with Daniel Jones, trying to turn him into something he wasn't. I'm seeing a kid that's out there that's trying to please his coach and please his teammates, because you guys laugh at the looks that he gives in pictures. Did you see the looks in his eyes when he looked at Galladay, when Galladay was bitching at Garrett? Did you see that face?
You know what that was, though? That was instinct kicking in.
Exactly. He has it. And I think Garrett hindered it.
And I don't think we can hang our hats on Garrett being pulled as a play caller. That'd be like saying because the Cleveland Browns fired Bill Belichick, he's not the greatest coach of all time.
That would be like New England saying that we're going to fire oh my God, I just had his name, the Seattle coach, because he's not it. Pete Carroll goes to Seattle and wins the Super Bowl, but he couldn't do anything with the New England Patriots.
Yeah, so it is all circumstantial, and I will say this about Jason Garrett: he didn't bring the right scheme here for the personnel, 1,000%, and just the whole coaching staff in a total. We just got tricked. We just got straight tricked, man. We fell for the special teams head coach. We fell for Patrick Graham, who was in Miami, who struggled in Miami as well, and we fell for the Jason Garrett trick bag.
Well, yeah,
it's Zion.
We just took a seat on the roller coaster for the defense and buckled in, and we thought everything was just going to be okay.
That's where I based a lot of my opinion was. But you know what? I think now you're going to see a different Daniel Jones. Because, I mean, he turned his back on Garrett Monday night for a reason. When they were sitting on the bench,
he's going to get fired.
he just turned his back on Garrett like that. Garrett's tapping him. No, look at this. And he just turned his back. You know, he's had enough of what's going on.
It's the only
That's
thing
how
that
bad
they could
it got.
have did. You know, for the Giants, that's the only thing they could have did was fire Jason Garrett. Nothing else would have fixed anything for the coaching regime except all of them being fired. So they just looking at ways to salvage it. Pat Shurmur did the exact same thing by benching Eli Manning week 3 for Daniel Jones because he knew his job was on the line.
You're right. But authentic, just real quick, my point to that is I think that Garrett and I think the guy from LSU that Judge brought on are going to be both co-offensive coordinators. We do have plays that have worked inside the 20s. It's the red zone that kills us.
Yeah.
So I think what they're going to do is they're going to look at the plays that worked and they're going to disguise better. And when you disguise better, that makes it easier for the blockers. And not only that, I don't think you're going to see Hernandez and Solder on the right side. You know what? It might be Willis and Pert.
Yeah, Hernandez has regressed so bad.
I can.
Hernandez has become unwatchable.
But is he so bad because of himself or because his leaks all over the line?
It could be because the unit is not strong.
He had a 6.1 pass blocking.
We should have found a way to keep Kevin Zeitler on this roster, man.
Yeah.
That I would agree with. Yes. And that would make a huge difference right now. But Nick Gates got taken out in week 2. And that was such a big blow to this offensive line that we don't realize it.
Yeah, I mean, Nick Gates going down was terrible. He was the one, one of the offensive linemen that was actually looking like it was going to work out. But to your point about the red zone, I wanted to make sure I had the numbers right because I know the Giants are dead last in red zone efficiency right now with the 44%.
They were only 46 last year.
Yeah, and this is the other thing about the Giants. You're saying they got to just fix the red zone. The attempts per game are at the bottom of the league too. So it's not like they're getting to the red zone like some of these other teams, like a Philadelphia, like a Dallas, like a New England, like a Washington. We're 25th in attempts per game right now. The only teams that are behind us are Cincinnati, Chicago, Seattle, Detroit, Houston, and Jacksonville. We're just a bad team.
Right, but what I'm saying by that though is I can see Toney getting schemed more. I can see Galladay getting schemed more. I think we're going to start seeing some 50-50 balls. We're going to start seeing everything that we've been wanting to see. I just think those two offensive coordinators.
Has there been one 50-50 ball to Kenny Galladay this year?
No, there hasn't. You know what? Here's the thing, Authentic. The week before the bye is the first time that the offense or the receivers were practicing over or back shoulder throws. It was on YouTube.
That's a good point too, because they definitely haven't had that chemistry with the back shoulder throw. That's never happened with Daniel Jones in all 3 years.
But they weren't having the quarterback throw it. It was the coach. You should have the quarterback throwing it to say, "Hey, Kenny, how's that? No, put it more outside. No, put it higher. No, I like it here." There's none of that.
Eli was great at that, man. Eli
was so great at that.
He was.
Eli, the thing about Eli was like, "Yo, I'm gonna get to the line. I don't care what coach just said. Exactly. If I see Odell Beckham over there one-on-one, we audible into a slant, bro. Here it come. I don't care if defense know it's coming. I'm throwing it. Same thing with Plaxico Beers. You remember the Super Bowl throw? Or no, it wasn't the Super Bowl throw. It was the playoff game, I think, actually. Oh, no, it was a Super Bowl. It was a Super Bowl. The fade route to Plaxico Beers.
Yeah.
It was an audible.
That was audible.
Yeah.
All day.
They had one-on-one coverage with a 6'5" guy. Hello. Yeah, every day.
You remember when Daniel Jones had one-on-one coverage with the tallest wide receiver in the NFL? Big Pat was breaking it down here on the channel. Colin Johnson over there. Daniel Jones wasn't even looking over there. He was like, "Y'all ready? Y'all ready?" Colin Johnson right here. He like, "Hut."
Yeah, but Authentic, you're the one that even came up on your podcast earlier today that said Daniel Jones had no control of the offense.
Yeah, the Beard said that actually, and I don't know how true that is, but what does that mean? Why then? How is he audibling at the line? That's what I wanted to question. That if he got no control, how's he even making audibles at the line?
You know what? How many times did Peyton Manning walk up to the line and call out this blue, green, red, Omaha? No, wait, T. You know, never changed the play. Just got the defense
Manning,
jumping
you know
around.
what's crazy about Peyton Manning is he was calling the plays. He was the offensive play
right,
caller.
he was. And his college coach is the same one Daniel Jones had. So I cannot believe he changed up.
But his daddy ain't.
Well, you know what? There might be some genetics to it. All right, I get it that they
Daniel
grew
Jones
up in
didn't have
locker
Archie
rooms,
over there.
but it's not like Daniel Jones never went to Eli Manning and Peyton's camp. It's not like he wasn't involved in a lot of stuff as a kid.
And I know he had a lot of drops from his wide receivers at Duke, but he was a 50% completion percentage guy at Duke.
But he took them to 2 playoff bowl wins. 2, not one.
What bowl was
Duke.
it?
Dude, it don't matter. A bowl win's a bowl win. How many did Duke win?
I don't think that he had a winning season over there with Duke ever.
Yeah, he did. It was like 8-5, and
But my thing is like, how can we cut like, and my thing I disagree is like, how can we praise Daniel Jones for winning in Duke, and Malik Willis is winning over there at Liberty? I mean, like, what are we doing? Like, he's doing just about the same in Liberty, but we criticize him.
I'll close up.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me say something. I want to say something, man. Let me explain something to you, because some of us played football here, right?
Yeah.
And I played football for a lot of years. I was a quarterback and a linebacker. Who cares? None of that shit matters. Listen, let me tell you something. When you got to throw a ball to your fat lineman over those receivers, you're a bad team. Okay? And I'm going to tell you why. When you got to trick people because you're not good enough to beat them at straight up football, and it's because we don't have a running game, you're a bad team. That's it. Bottom line.
Not lying, man. You are not lying.
I'll be back.
Halloween He got the Halloween decoration.
Hold on, and I got one more thing to say. I got one more thing that I was pissed about last night. You finally, I've been asking for this for 6 weeks. Put Toney in the backfield, let him take direct snaps. You don't know if he's going to run the Wildcat or if he's going to option and throw, because he's such a skilled, talented kid. He could do both. And you got him throwing a beautiful deep pass to Slayton and not Galladay? Explain that to me.
Yeah,
well,
it don't make no sense.
I don't have his win-loss record, but I got his stats.
Hold on. Yeah, I was going to say I got his stats too. It's almost the same in college as well. 2016, he had 16 touchdowns and 9 interceptions.
Here at least.
No, And it was Duke.
2017, he had 14 touchdowns and 11 interceptions.
And you know what's crazy?
And then 2018, he had 22 touchdowns and 9 picks. So he did good as junior
And
year.
I will give this to Daniel Jones though. You know what's crazy? I remember during the draft process. I was watching his highlights, and they was putting highlights of his receivers dropping the balls in his highlights.
I remember that on the scout tape because they were like the throw's so good, but then the wide receiver wouldn't catch it. He had no wide receivers over there for sure.
None.
I think Jones would have been. Jones would have been served much better if he played for a bigger college. You know, he would have learned a lot more.
Yeah, and also if he could have sat behind Eli Manning for a couple more years, that Pat Shurmur and them did him dirty just trying to save their jobs.
I don't like the small college excuse because Carson Wentz played at North Dakota State.
Yeah, but look at Carson Wentz right now. Look, remember when I was telling you them stats, Pat, and everybody on the panel was like, nah, ain't no way that man got 18 touchdowns, 3 interceptions on the year.
Right.
He out here doing things, but he got the best running back in football in Jonathan Taylor right now.
And a real good O-line. A real good O-line.
Yeah, that's a real running back right there, man.
That must be just his passing yards because it says here he broke the Duke record with almost 7,000. He's 3 short from 7,000 passing yards and 98 touchdowns.
Oh, how long did he? Oh my God, only 7,000.
He redshirted his first year.
What 98 touchdowns did he get?
It says he broke the school record with 6,997 passing yards and 98 touchdowns.
Yeah, ain't nobody playing football at Duke.
Come on, it's Duke, man.
Listen,
it's not
man,
even a football school.
Look, this is their win-loss right here. They didn't have a winning season when he was there. 2016, 1-7, 2017, 3-5, 2018, 3-5, 2019, 3-5, 2020, he wasn't there, obviously. 2019, he wasn't there either. So, and in 2015, 4-4, 2014, they were 5-3, but he wasn't there, right?
At the end of the day,
no, he wasn't there at Duke.
Cutcliffe been over at Duke since 2008. Ain't no other quarterbacks came out of there.
Right.
You know, and I ain't hating on the kid. When I looked at the tape, I thought he looked all right, but a lot of quarterbacks could look all right like that, man. You get in that league, everything moving way faster. It just moving way faster, man. Way faster.
At the end of the day, though, it doesn't matter where you come from, and it doesn't matter, I'm tired of like these draft analysts saying that, like this dude, his accuracy is this, his footwork, like all this bullshit, bro. At the end of the day, it don't matter where you come from. If you're a baller, you're a baller.
Right.
I've seen Dwayne Haskins come from Ohio State and throw 50 touchdowns and end up being a bust. 50 touchdowns. Michigan had the number 1 defense, Dwayne Haskins, last year. The number 1 defense in the nation. And Dwayne Haskins threw 6 touchdowns against the number 1 defense in the nation.
And he's looking like a straight bust right now.
A straight bust.
He's barely in the league.
Yeah. And they said in Pittsburgh they was going to try to start him when Roethlisberger was out, but he did something stupid before the game. I can't remember what it was. Like he was not showing up to something or something else like that.
He went to another strip club.
He does stupid things, man. He does.
Yeah, he's not a smart kid, man.
You're supposed to be taking the final snap for a team, and you're over there signing jerseys on the side. But the game is still going on, man. What are you doing?
I'm more concerned about who the hell wants a Dwayne Haskins autograph.
See, in DC, right, they was hype on him because the thing about DC is like we love black quarterbacks out here in DC, right? So because RG3 and it go all the way back to Doug Williams because Doug Williams won him a Super Bowl here. So when they saw Haskins get drafted, everybody out here was hype. That was one of the pivotal moments for me when I saw him signing jerseys and they had to have Case Keenum go in there and take the snaps. And Case Keenum had his helmet on and everything. He was ready to go. And I remember that was the second season me and the Beard started the podcast. The Beard was trying to give him more chances. He's like, he's just a young kid. You got to let him grow. Even after the strip club incident, the Beard said the same thing. And we talked about it today. He was like, man, I was totally wrong on it. He's like, my fandom got in the way. And my fear is that that's going to happen with a lot of Giants fans with Daniel Jones. I hope he can somehow turn this around, but we're looking at 2.5 seasons. You're looking at 2 full seasons now, and now we're entering week 12. How many games did he miss this year? He just missed the one game, right? The half of one game or whatever. So he's played in 11 games or 10 games. it's time to really step it up. I mean, the window is it's just closing. It's getting really small. It's starting to look like a bathroom window, and you locked out, and you ain't got no keys, and you trying to. I know all y'all done did that when you was a kid. You like trying to squeeze through that window. That's what it's starting to look like. You know, he really got to get it together. I mean, I wish the best for him, man, but I'm off the Daniel Jones wagon. I'm off it. I'm completely off it right now. When I see him play, I hope he plays well, man. But
I hope he does too.
I'm
not rooting against him or nothing like that. But it's just been bad, man. And
I was close last night. I really just want to win, man. I just want to be a winner.
Every time you get on that field with that kid in the red zone, it's like fuck.
Yeah, man.
It's like I know. Dude. It's like he's not going to do anything to get the ball in the end zone.
You know,
that's what I thought. 2018, he was 8-5.
Is it 8-5? When I looked it up on there,
yeah, because conference record was 3-5.
Oh yeah. You're right about that. Yep, you're right. His conference record was 3-5.
I'm not gonna lie to you. As much as I'm pulling for Jones and I want to see the kid do well and he's a good kid and all that, I'm telling you right now, man. If Russell Wilson's on the table, call me what you want to call me. It's a goodbye to Jones. I'm ready to move on.
Yeah, bro.
Listen, man. I'm telling you. I said this last night. I want Jones to be here, but if you got a chance to get Russell Wilson, that guy makes this team. Listen, that guy makes this team a playoff team right away.
I'm trying to tell you, some of y'all better pray this Deshaun Watson stuff is true. If this Deshaun Watson stuff is false,
what did he do, man? He didn't do nothing. He got a couple massages. Come on,
What did he do, man? He got a couple.
Watson did nothing wrong.
I'm sending.
What did the guy do? Let's be real now. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty. What did this guy really do?
If Watson is clear, I'm sending ship.
How much are we willing to give up for him? Or how much are you willing to give up for him, Ash?
3 first-round picks.
For Watson?
Dang.
For Watson?
Yeah.
First of all, I think as long as this goes, his trade value is going to be diminished. And let's be real, we are talking about the Houston Texans. What they trade for DeAndre Hopkins? I know it's a different person.
David Johnson and a second
but it's
round
still,
pick.
That was Bill O'Brien. He was losing his mind.
It's still
Bill O'Brien had more drugs than Daniel Jones.
Yeah,
it's still the same poverty franchise. So a lot of people are like, well, you're gonna have to spend 3 first-round picks. No. I don't think we're gonna give up. I don't think we're gonna give up both of our first-round picks this year. I'll give up whichever first-round pick is highest this year. I'll give up my first-round pick next year. I'll give up a third. Whatever player.
Yeah, I would do 2 first-rounders in the third, just like you saying, totally. And if you look at how McVay did it with the Rams, they was wheeling and dealing those first-round picks like nothing. And then, they wanted Jalen Ramsey over there. They're like, man, here, take them picks. I don't care. Give me the player.
To be honest, even on top of that, I throw in a couple players. I throw in Bradbury. I throw in Barkley. I throw in.
They're not accepting it.
No. You're going too far now.
They might go Bradbury. You could also wheel and deal Daniel Jones in the deal too.
That's
even though he's not great, you could put him in there.
Daniel Jones. Another team will take
I
a chance
on Andrew Thomas.
With Deshaun Watson, that would be nice with
Barkley in the second year. What the hell did Joel just say?
No. You do not trade.
He just said throwing Andrew Thomas.
No.
Oh, nah, you could do that.
Why not? You're gonna do it. Blow it all up. Yeah. Why so?
That's the thing.
I got to get up out of here, right? But I want to ask y'all one thing, right? Do y'all think if we lose this game real bad against the Eagles, it's a wrap for the whole fan base? Everybody gonna give in and say, get rid of Daniel Jones?
It's a wrap.
If you get smashed like against the Eagles, fire everyone.
Yo, the Beard said today, he said if we lose convincingly to the Eagles at home, Joe Judge gets fired. And I said back-to-back? You think they'll do that back-to-back weeks? Fire Jason Garrett this week and then lose to the Eagles next week and they fire Joe Judge? He said, yeah, bro. He said that'll be the tipping point because it's personal with the Eagles. I don't know if I quite agree on it, but I will say this. The fan base, they going to clock out. I think you got about 20% of people that are still left that are like, they clinging on to hope just a little bit. We go over here and we lose to the Eagles at home in front of our home fans. I think it's Rap City, Big Tigger in the basement. I think it's
I'm
over.
not giving up on Daniel Jones 1 week into a new OC. I ain't doing it. I ain't doing it.
7 games, man, till next year. So,
I ain't doing it. I can't do it. He's a giant. He's my guy.
Man, Joel was like, "Yo, we gonna be 10-6. We gonna do all this." I was like, "I think we gonna be 9-7."
He said 12-5.
We was feeling
12-5.
good, man. We was like, this team, we got a
Hey,
Dory Jackson, we
you
got
know
the
what?
weapons, we got
I thought
this,
the
and now it's
defense
just
was
like,
going to step up. That's what I based it all on was the defense
too.
play from last year.
Yeah.
The last 6 weeks, I thought everybody was coming back. Graham's coming back. They're not going to miss a step. They're not going to miss a beat. These guys are healthy. They were working out together. They should be, used to the scheme. And I thought, you know what? Complicated a little more. But those guys couldn't handle it. So again, you got players, you got ballers. Our defense right now is players.
Man, we suck, man. We suck as a
That's
whole.
I thought we had ballers, man. I did. I thought we had ballers on the defense.
too, Joel. I did too, bro. I'm looking at them.
You
They
was
did
misled.
exactly what I wanted them to do in the
We got
offseason
catfish,
in drafting
Joel.
a wide receiver and bringing in Kenny Galladay. I was like,
Yes.
double dip.
Yes.
Go get the free agent and get the wide receiver in the draft. They did it. I'm like, oh man. And I had a reaction video that I had for during the draft when we drafted Kadarius Toney because I was pretty hype about it, even though I wanted Devonta Smith. But I was like, I'm gonna wait to see the results of what happens during the season before I release that video looking all crazy. That video ain't never coming out.
Man, I hiding, no way in hell. But you know what? The toxicity today just got to me.
Yeah. Fans are fed up, man, and I think we still support the players, man. They got to go out there and win games, but I don't got a lot of faith in it.
Hope you're doing good, Coach.
I think you're going to see. I think you're going to see a little bit of difference from Daniel Jones, and it might just be against the Eagles. Look. You know what? You can say what you want. Once in a while, I pull a wild hair out of my ass, okay? And for some reason, I just have a wild hair. I don't know, because if I would have saw a different offense out of Jason Garrett from week 1 to now, I would say it's Daniel Jones. But when I'm seeing the same stuff over, I'm not seeing any ingenuity. I mean, okay, a pass to a tackle. Great. One play.
Yeah.
I'm not seeing Daniel Jones progress like I did earlier. He looked more confident from week 2 to week 3, even though we lost. He looked better from week 3 to week 4, even though we lost. I was starting to hang my hat on him. I'm seeing, okay, we're starting to see progression here. We're starting to see something. Okay, Garrett, let loose. He let loose. We won a game. I'm thinking, okay, you know what? Things are starting to click. And then we went right back. Why did we regress instead of progress?
Quarterback's definitely a big problem with that. I mean, you look,
It
even
is,
the
but
first
he
game of
wasn't
the year.
he
You look at
wasn't
the Denver
showing.
Broncos game, we could have been in that game with better quarterback play. Atlanta Falcons, till this day, I look at that game and I'm just like, we couldn't compete with the Falcons. How did we not do that? I just didn't understand it. And you even saw Jason Garrett get so desperate. I think it was against the Chiefs where he was like, you know what? I'm going to just do exactly what Pat Shermer did with Daniel Jones. He was like, I'm going to just boot him right every play, run a flood concept and see if it works. And it kind of worked a little bit. And then he was like, nah, that ain't the vibes. He saw Daniel Jones fumble against the Raiders. He was like, man, Devontae, we gonna give you these runs, man. And it just... It's imploding, man. It's imploding.
Jalen Hurts. Hey, it's so bad. It's funny, bro.
It is. That's all you could do. It's like laugh at the pain kind of vibes now, bro, because it hurts so bad. It's like now I'm just getting beat up, and I'm looking at my abuser like it's funny that he beating me up now. It's horrible.
I'm telling you guys, bro. I'm telling you, Authentic is right, bro. Something is wrong mentally with Daniel Jones. He looked like a crackhead.
Yo, son, like it's just not.
He's actually really
moving
smart, though. He's an
fast.
intelligent guy. Very.
You could be that's like that. Like the dude that got straight A's in school, but then when you have conversations with him, you be like, yo, you an idiot, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like it's kind of like that kind of a vibe.
You know what he is? He's like a Duke kid. He's very educated, comes from but in the city streets, he would get killed because he would be too dumb. He would not know how to make it, like that type of smart, college smart.
And you know what's wild about Jalen Hurts is he the opposite, right? Like Jalen Hurts get on the podium and I'm like, bro, you look like you trying to use words that ain't even in your vernacular, in your vocabulary. He ain't really a book smart kind of dude, but he that street smart, just like Liz was talking about.
Why y'all think I call him Danny Dickhead?
That's why I love listening to him. I love listening to Tony because he's from the South. He's a street, and he puts the media in their place. I love it. Man.
Yep. They ask him stupid questions. He laugh at them questions and be like, "What do you mean?" One time I remember one of my favorite interviews with Kadarius Toney. Dude asked him like, "So what's going through your mind when you juking these players on the field?" And Kadarius said, "They go left, I go right.
I go right.
They go right, I go left." He's like, "Yo, why you asking me this stupid ass question right now?" I love that kid. Him and Andrew Thomas, we definitely got to keep them players around, man. But yo, Big Pat, every time I pull up on y'all, it's supposed to be like 20 minutes after a long day.
You always say the same thing.
I appreciate you, brother, man. You already know what it is, man. You always welcome on my channel. Miz, I'm having Big Pat pull up on Monday for the Giant Overreaction. I got to get you on one too, man. I don't know if you on Twitter or not, but reach out to me, man, on DM or something, bro, so we can line that up. Because, man, we all see alike. These panels be some of my favorite panels when I pop up and get to chop it up with all of y'all, man. Joel, Zion in the building one time. Ash Money, that's my brother, man. And Logan, bro, you already know what it is, man. We always gotta support the youth that's doing what we trying to do right now. He got hip to it very early. I wish I could have got hip to it as early as Logan, man. So, bro, y'all just keep doing what y'all do, man. Don't let this team get y'all too down, man. Like, laugh at that pain sometimes, just like Pat was talking about, man. But I definitely catch y'all soon, man. I'm gonna be live going crazy this week. If I don't holler at y'all, all of y'all have a happy Thanksgiving, man. Make sure you grub good. Keep them leftovers popping for at least a whole week.
All right, man. If you can, make it Friday for the film section. I hope you can.
I'll be there. You said 9 o'clock, right?
Yeah, 9 p.m. Eastern.
I'll be there. Don't even worry. Just send me a reminder on Twitter or something with the link. I'll pull up. No problem.
All right.
All right, fellas. Y'all be good, man.
All right.
Peace out, fellas.
Peace.
All right, fellas. Y'all done had me on here almost 4 hours. I only planning on being here about an hour and a half, 2. You always get me, but Joe, I know you're frustrated tonight. There's no hard feelings, bro.
Nope. Like I said, I
love you. Just keep
I got beat down a little bit, but man, I'll tell you what, Miz and you coming out with that really did make my day. That, like I said, so it's like so much, and I could only hand so much, and my cup got full. And
I understand.
I had
that's
to
why I pay attention to Twitter like that.
It was more than just Twitter, but it was everything, and it's hard to put in words, but.
Well, all I can tell you, Joe, is don't let it ruin your holidays. You enjoy your holidays.
Oh, hell no. I was baking all day today. My God, I got
classified fucking Joel.
Yeah, that's right. I got 2 fresh pumpkin pies over here. I got a cherry pie. I got cookies I made. I got cookies in the refrigerator I still got to make. I got banana bread I got to make. I got a whole bunch of shit. I got a 21-pound turkey I still got to cook. I got a 10-pound ham I got to cook. I mean, God, I have leftovers for a month.
Holy shit, man. How much you going to eat?
Probably why he's so tired now. He's been eating all day.
Oh, my God. Oh, man, I lost that 90 pounds. I got to find it. You know what? There's 2 times of the year that I eat like a horse, and that's Thanksgiving and Christmas. And then I sit on the couch and veg out, and it's like, oh God, yes, bong ripper, take me away.
Well, even though we were so disappointed that Monday night stream, we almost got to 1,000 views with that stream. So
right. Well,
cool.
I'm telling you, you're going to see a different DJ. You really are. I just have that feeling.
I hope so, Joe.
I do, man. I think Garrett's behind so much of it.
I hope it turns out to be one of your off-the-wall guesses, like the Miami over the Ravens guess.
Man, listen, that's hard, deep thought right there. I take time into that. Now, the Jimmy Garoppolo, that was a wild-ass thought right there.
At least you admit it.
You owe him a Garoppolo jersey.
Yeah, somebody.
Yeah, that's a real statement, though, Coach. You say, "Yo, Joe, keep your head up. Don't let them people stress you out, man." You're awesome. Mentor to me, you, and Pat, and everybody else. Yeah, I mean, that's a true statement. Don't let them take the joy. I laugh at the pain.
I got people I can get a hold of.
I got a early prediction for Thanksgiving. The Detroit Lions are going to win their first game.
Dude, I tell you, I'm
not
on
just saying
that.
that. I mean it.
They're going to establish the one on the ground.
I am on that train too, Miz.
If that happens,
He's gonna have a
Goff
good
is playing.
If that happens, I think the Bears get the number 2 and number 3 pick, and we have
Goff
the number
is
2
playing.
and number 3 pick.
Detroit's been getting close every game. They're right there, and they haven't won a game
And
on
who better
Thanksgiving
to
in
do
forever.
Yeah.
They
And
do.
who better to do it against than the Bears?
Y'all thought I
At
was crazy.
home on
Y'all thought I was
Thanksgiving, and the
crazy.
Bears are struggling. They don't have a real
know
quarterback.
Andy Dalton's going to be starting for the Bears.
Everybody thought I was crazy when I said the Bears are going to give us a top 5 pick. Everyone's like,
And
no,
their
they're
coach
too
will
good.
be fired
They're-
after the Thanksgiving game.
they're-
They already said it.
They're gonna be, picking in the 18 to 20 range.
Jason
No, guys.
Garrett.
Y'all thought I was
Garrett.
crazy.
Garrett.
Y'all thought I was crazy when I said we was getting Thibodeau. What?
I don't think we're getting Thibodeau.
Watch.
I'd rather have Aiden Hutchinson.
If
I'm not
we
gonna
get
lie.
Thibodeau,
He's a better run stuffer.
if we get Thibodeau, one of y'all owe me a jersey. Let's make a bet.
Okay,
If
what
we
do
get Evan Neal, if we get Evan Neal
I'll-
and Tyler Linderbaum, one of y'all owe me a jersey.
I'll send y'all each $20.
Oh, we got to pay for a $200 shirt. We get
jersey.
$20 in
Bro, we get
return.
$20. That's $100. That's $100. If y'all each put in 20, and if y'all each put in 20 for a jersey, you feel me? And I give each y'all 20. That seems fair.
What am I gonna
A
buy
jersey?
for $20? A stick of gum?
A jersey is $100.
Nah, bro, you get the real deal jersey with the stitched on numbers for $25 from China. I order them all the time. No, they look really real. The jersey the Giants were wearing last night. I
Wait
got
a
the
minute.
Barkley for $30.
Wait a minute. He said a jersey. He did not specify what size. My granddaughter, when she outwears that jersey.
No, guys, get him an Eric Flowers jersey. He didn't say anything about
Eric
a Giants
Flowers.
jersey.
We'll get him.
Yeah,
we'll
he
we'll
did
get
say
Ashton
what?
number 8 jersey.
Yeah.
I'll
We'll
tell
get
you
him
the
a
truth.
Daniel Jones jersey.
You don't buy a Giants jersey right now. You gotta wait.
Yeah.
Because players are out the door. Nobody's real. You gotta wait and see. We get somebody.
I'm not
who's
gonna lie,
they're gonna,
I'll bet we could get that 76 jersey real friggin' cheap. I think we'd only have to pitch in $5 each.
They'll probably pay you to take the jersey.
Yeah. Because
Yo,
it's
let's
only
give it to you.
$20 just to keep that thing.
I was
right,
thinking
fellas.
about it last night. I got the Jones and the Barkley, right? By next year or the year after, I might have to get rid of both.
China.
I'm telling you right now, guys. For Christmas, I'm getting myself an LT and an Andrew Thomas.
I'm not giving up my Jones jersey no matter what. I'm dying with that one. I do. Dude, I'm telling you. If this kid goes somewhere else, he's gonna ball out.
I'm sorry.
I know.
7 years in, if Daniel Jones is one of the worst quarterbacks in the league, Joe's like, he has a chance.
You know what?
We'll see, bro.
All right, fellas, man. I'm gonna have to end this, man. I've been on here almost 4 hours, and I'm expected to do an hour and a half. I'd like to thank you guys for always showing support, man.
Hey.
And
thank you.
We're gonna hit him with the smoke logo.